Ooh, Wendy Bell Radio is live.
Why does it never get old? Honestly.
Well, with how many computer issues we have, people probably think it's frozen or something.
Probably. Hi, everybody. What's going on? You know who we haven't heard from in a while?
Harry?
Your girlfriend?
Which
Rosie?
One? Who?
Rosie?
Why do you have to be like that?
What happened? Where'd she go? Did she start listening to her therapist, do you think, and like try to tap out from the constant barrage of negativity? Nah.
Okay, so let me set the record straight.
Oh.
No need to say Wendy's fuzzy.
We're getting a new computer. It comes tomorrow.
We ordered one.
It comes today, I think.
Comes tomorrow. So I'll install it Sunday.
So anyway, yeah, it's going to be bad for the next 2 days, and I'm sorry, but
the computer can't keep up.
It is what it is. Yeah. I'm just so freaking fabulous. It's having a hard time. Okay.
Yeah, something like that.
That's so not friendly.
I know.
How is everybody?
Yeah.
What's going on? We were 7th again yesterday.
Did we have many comments?
We had a ton of comments yesterday, and yes, some of them are very sweet.
Okay, I want you to write in the comments.
Oh, okay.
They give you 2,000 characters. What do you think about all this UFO stuff coming out? And do you believe it? That's my question for all of you. And I want to go back later and read it because I'm
going to put something there. I'm going to put something up there, okay? All right, I'm gonna attach my own thing once I log into our skip ad. 693 is my number. Hello, everyone. Okay. All right, so here under the comments, add a comment. Okay. Who believes in UFOs? Who believes in this? All right, so now there's all.
I mean, what don't you believe? Like, I'm starting to think Star Wars is real.
All of it. Stop. Yes.
I wasn't a big Star Trek person. Let me rephrase that. I wasn't a Star Trek person.
Right.
But like all that beam me up, Scotty BS. I'm starting to think Kirk was onto something.
All right, I put it on there. All right, I want you guys to click those 2 links. Click those 2 links. You'll have to. They're not wrapping, so you'll have to copy and paste them. But I want you to look at those and then tell me what you think. Come on.
I think it's all real.
There's so much more going on.
Yeah.
And you know what? I think this is sinister. I think alien life is not about disease. I think they've healed, cured things. I think that there are solutions to all of the dumb effing conundrum that we have. There's no GLP-1 gold in outer space because nobody has to deal with that, possibly, right? So literally, why would they want you to know about anything that could be better than all of the pharma BS that they push here?
Yeah, what did we get from space? Tang?
Like, honestly, I think there's a lot more going on.
This intergalactic species meeting.
So Matt Gaetz was on that committee, and so was Tim Burchett. And so I went back, and there's an NPR article. Shocker. I know, write it down. It's actually a really good article.
Whoa.
What?
Chef Jet 1. I do. My wife and I have seen them. I don't know if you're kidding or not, but how
Wendy Bell Radio at gmail.com.
Yeah, how do we even know anymore?
Right. I'm going to read all of those documents.
I think some liberals are aliens. So
the reason why we're intrigued by this is because Tim Burchett was on with Rob Finnerty last night. Rob, who clearly watches the show. It's okay, Rob. It's okay, babe. I know you do show prep here, and it's all right. I'm glad that you do. However, I did call you out as a boyfriend before, and you never responded. So,
well, he's lying.
That. Well, see, I feel about Rob the way the president feels about the UK right now. Gave you an opportunity, you didn't take it.
Wow.
So Anywho.
Sandy didn't take mine either. So
no, see, but I actively pursued him. I cougared a little bit.
I cougared a little bit.
Oh, that's funny. I love you guys. Well, it's great to be with you. Hit that rumble button, darn it.
I think Sandy's younger than me.
I think she's well younger than I. Well, how old? Sandra Smith. I say she's 48. 6. Let's see.
All right, here we go.
Hold on.
No,
hold on.
I kind of have to start the
45.
show.
45.
I was close.
I got her by
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome to your daily dose of facts to fight off the liberal gaslighting.
You can be in the middle of a hurricane.
You have sanctuary in the city of Chicago.
Or you can be on a calm day. North is still north. You could be in a thunderstorm.
I am angry. We are not going back. Not ever.
North is still north. People can yell at you.
The hell with the Supreme Court. We will defy them.
North is still north. It doesn't change fundamental things. And in this business, right is still right, even if you stand by yourself.
We don't get fooled again. No.
Live across the fruited plain and from sea to shining sea, we're converting the Marxist left 1 hour at a time on the Wendy Bell radio program.
Hello, America. Greetings to all of you across the beautiful fruited plain. Welcome home to the Wendy Bell radio program. As always, it is our delight to share the news with you, the stuff that we found that we think is interesting, stuff that makes us go really, right? So, stories that are so ridiculous that makes you feel like you're being played a little bit. Yeah, I feel the same way. But here on this program, wendybellradio.com, if you want to join the live video stream, join in the comments, join this family. We call it kind of an army of truth tellers and seekers. Well, we'd be delighted to have you as long as you can stay. wendybellradio.com. Thank you for being here and welcome home. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty. Down to return to outer space. I mean, let's just think about this optics wise. Before we take you to Cape Canaveral, to the Artemis 2, to the 4 astronauts on board, to this collective awe-inspiring moment of stop what you're doing and watch that lift off. This president wants to go to the stars. He wants to go beyond the moon. He wants to go 260,000 miles away to the dark side of the moon. And here, back on planet Earth, you've got a uniparty swamp creature thing going on the left, right? That will stop at nothing to stop him. And we're being told by polls, people really don't like what this president is doing. I'm like, really, who? Who doesn't like this whole idea that there's something so well beyond our stars that we can see? How much do you believe? How much do you believe has been withheld from you? How much do you want to explore? What do you really want to know? I think we have a president who's like, open the files. Stop redacting everything. These people have paid for all of this. We've abused them for generations. We've lied to them. We've got in wars because of this so that we could continue profiting off of other people's suffering and pain. And we have Democrats here who are so desperate to tell you that this is all bad. Nobody likes this president. Well, let's go out to Cape Canaveral. Artemis 2 lifting off, 4 astronauts on their journey to the moon and back. Would you have heard about this under Joe Biden? No. Would you have heard about it under Barack Obama? No. Would you have heard about it under the measly mouth, wishy-washy willow George Bush? No. But yesterday, when my son Jack came into the kitchen when Joe and I were making dinner and he flipped on the TV, everything in the room stopped. This is what it's.
Next great voyage begins. On time, passing 30 seconds into the flights.
Do you need a more poignant illustration of what this president wants for the future of not just this country, but the world? A literal rocket, right? Shooting off into the atmosphere to show you that nothing's beyond reach. See, Democrats want you destitute. They want you sick. They need you addicted. They wanted you to stay at home, stay calm, stay safe. They want to run everything for you. Don't worry, we've got it all under our purview. This president says, light them up. Let them off. Let's go. Let's roll. I don't know if we could have more examples in the recent past of what we're up against as a people, as a country, than the stark black and white of this administration and basically everything else we've been used to, right? Let's name anything you want. Name anything you want. Let's talk about security and safety. Obviously, this president ran on and won, shutting down the border, getting rid of the criminals, getting a lasso on illegal immigration, stopping this constant birth mill of anchor babies who then bring their families over and sponge off of the goodness of the American people. And this president was bold enough to stand up years ago and say, suck it, we're done. I'm going to change things. I'm going to run. I'm going to win. I'm going to fix it. And I'm the only one who can. And they laughed, but they were scared. Did you hear what Chuck Schumer did? And Hakeem Jeffries? Apparently, there's now a lawsuit against the president and his executive order we heard about just hours ago, which would tighten up mail-in ballots so that each envelope had a specific barcode that was unique, almost like a fingerprint to the voter. There would be no mass mailings. There would be no more getting more ballots back than you sent out. None of that garbage. The only reason the Democrats sued Donald Trump to stop that from happening is because they have no other way. There's nothing left. Black people have awakened and have walked off the reservation, right? The unions have done this total flip. Now, the Republican Party, this MAGA movement, this president has completely changed the hardworking man and woman in this country and dragged them away from the empty promises of unions that suck as much as the federal government and brought them into a, we're going to make it easier for you. You're going to work overtime. We're not going to tax you for that. You've got an administration that's doing everything it can, investing in newborn babies. That is as wild and far-fetched for a typical presidential administration as going back to the moon 54 years after you went the first time. Right? And every single day, this president does one more thing to fulfill a promise he made years ago, oftentimes decades ago. And yet you're being fed a healthy, never-ending diet of fake news. I want you to hear this gentleman. It's only like 30 seconds long. This gentleman you are about to hear is a former astronaut. His name is Jerry Leininger, and he's on with Fox yesterday as this Artemis 2 launches off with 4 astronauts aboard to go do something remarkable. And if you close your eyes You don't even have to see it. You can see it in your mind. The smile on this man's face. Listen.
It's just awesome. They got to be so excited. And 2 years of working hard. God bless America. I mean, the things with the Trump space policy is unreal. He started it his first term, and this is the fruition of it. A big, beautiful bill had enough budget to make this kind of stuff happen. And, you know, America is great again. I am so proud.
And so that is the question. That is where we are. What do you want? Do you want to be a part of making America great again, where 260,000 miles isn't too far to explore? Or do you want to be part of the other side that wants to blanket you in regulations, suffocate you with legal mumbo jumbo, overregulate every daggone thing that you do, and then every year bend you over a little bit further to make you pay more and get less? This is it. In one beautiful liftoff, the entire world watched. America is back. When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, we're going to talk about what the president said last night, 9 o'clock address to the nation. I guess some Survivor fans were ticked because it cut into their episode. You can't make it up. I got to tell you what he said. I want to tell you how Iran responded before I even tell you what he said. We're going to do a little backwards first because what the hell? It's my show and we can. Love you guys. Stay tuned. Next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. It's such a stark, it's like Somalians being the masterminds of welfare theft in Minnesota. Really? It took a bunch of people from Africa to come here to be the shells through which all of these entities steal our money. It's crazy. It's almost like you're being played. Like there's a big zipper that's going to open up on the horizon and we're going to be like, oh, dear God, I thought it was a simulation. All right, let's talk. TheHealthyFat.com. TheHealthyFat.com. This is the drink that I have. I'm waiting for it. It should be arriving today. It turns out the key to losing weight isn't in starving yourself or eating celery or, counting your carbs or even in trying to eat probiotic-rich foods. The key, the end game, Dr. Gundry, who lost 70 pounds drinking what he invented, right? A scoop and a glass of water a day. What? That can do it for you? Mm-hmm. Yeah, it really can. This is why this is not for the casual dieter. This is for the person who's got four. Unnecessary calories, and Dr. Gundry calls it caloric bypass. That's what it is. It's an actual chemical reaction in your body that he can trigger with this. It's delicious. It's like 5 calories. It's nothing, right? 30 calories maybe. And this is a dietary supplement that people have been having outrageous success with. I drink it every day. I think it's delicious. And it kills your appetite for a minimum 5 hours. That's why it's so flippin' awesome. And it tastes great. TheHealthyFat.com/Wendy. It is part of my regimen. And I hope you join me because it's just delicious. I mean, literally sending a rocket to the dark side of the moon. And Democrats are here bitching about mail-in ballot regulations to secure one ballot, one voter.
Well, how about all the people that say
it's outrageous?
Donald Trump doesn't give us a plan, and then they bitch that Survivor got interrupted. But although those are the same people that there's a tornado warning and they're mad because Survivor's not on. And the weather is.
This computer is killing me.
Me too. There's nothing we can do.
Is there a way I could minimize it so I don't have to see how bad it is?
You can minimize the whole screen if you want.
Okay. I'm better that way. I figure my wingman will let back on Iran. It shouldn't have happened. Why did he do it? He's a dictator. It sounds like a king. Well, no, he's basically this president. His Joint Chiefs, his Secretary of War, all of the people who talk, the Secretary of State, they all have the same bullet points. This is what we did. This is why we did it. This is the result. And this is when we're done. That's what last night was. And it wasn't long. I think it was like 18 minutes. And we're going to get it for you here right after this break. But I want to tell you how Iran reacted to President Trump's address last night, which was teed up by a 2-minute explainer by your Secretary of State. So ahead of the president's primetime address, Marco Rubio released a video explaining the timing of the U.S. military strikes on Iran. He's concise. He gives you exactly what's going on. This is the story. This is why, lest you be concerned or indoctrinated by the fake news. And he said simply, Iran posed an intolerable risk. This administration is carving out these dangers for America's children and grandchildren. That's a fact. Here's Marco.
Many Americans are asking, why did the United States have to attack Iran now? Well, let me explain. Iran wants to have nuclear weapons. Of that, there is zero doubt. If what they truly wanted, which is what they claim, is nuclear energy, well, they could have nuclear energy like all the other countries in the world have it. And that is, you import the fuel and you build reactors above ground. That's not what Iran has done. They build their reactors and their facilities deep in mountains, away from the public glare. And they want to enrich that material. The same equipment that they could use to enrich material for energy, they could use to quickly enrich it to weapons grade. So it is clear that they've been offered every opportunity to have a nuclear program that allows them to have energy, not weapons. And every single time they have turned it down. But why the attack now? Well, what was Iran trying to do? Iran was trying to build a conventional shield, in essence, have so many missiles, have so many drones that no one could attack them. And they were well on their way. We were on the verge of an Iran that had so many missiles and so many drones that no one could do anything about their nuclear weapons program in the future. That was an intolerable risk. Under no circumstances can a country run by radical Shia clerics with an apocalyptic vision of the future ever possess nuclear weapons. And under no circumstances can they be allowed to hide and protect that program and their ambitions behind a shield of missiles and drones that no one can do anything about. This was our last best chance to eliminate that conventional threat, that conventional shield that they were trying to build. And the president made the right decision to wipe it out now. That is the goal of this operation, to destroy their conventional missiles and their drone program so they can't hide behind it and finally have to deal with the world seriously about never, ever having nuclear weapons.
I think that is extraordinarily clear. They've lied repeatedly. We know they've lied. Liars are going to lie. They're going to lie again. For now, we can at least set them back several decades. So how did Iran react? I don't know whomever the semblance of their leadership is, because pretty much we've killed everybody, right? Iran threatens destructive attacks on U.S. after Trump declares war an overwhelming victory. Right? These people, even if this is just one semblance of one individual who's tweeting something out or saying something, they will never go. They will never quit. They will never stop. They will never cease and desist. They will be a scourge for all of the rest of time. But for the next 20 years, they won't be threatening your children or your grandchildren with nuclear extermination. And people are like, that's so farcical. It's like so not happening. Really? Why would they lie to you? Why would he say? They were building up an arsenal of drones and missiles that was giving it a protective nuclear shield. Anybody wanted to fiddle with Iran? Good luck. That's now over. So Iran says, you know what? The military threatened on Thursday to launch crushing and destructive attacks on the U.S. after President Trump declared Operation Epic Fury an overwhelming victory in an address to the nation. Tehran issued its fiery response after Trump reiterated his intentions to bomb Iran back to the Stone Age, branding the Islamic Republic fanatical and the most violent and thuggish regime on earth. So this is the military's operational command. They send out on a statement aired on state TV, right? With trust in Almighty God. This war will continue until your humiliation, disgrace, permanent and certain regret and surrender await our more crushing, broader, and more destructive actions. With what? With what? What are you going to come at us with? What do you have left? Your Navy is destroyed. You do not have any more aircraft that could be airborne. The majority of your missile defense system completely destroyed. Your drones and the capability to make more obliterated. So, what is this? And why is that the answer? When the president says there are cooler heads prevailing, more reasonable negotiators within the country in some sort of leadership structure. And if that's the case, and they'd like a ceasefire, which he says they do, we will see if we can make a deal. Isn't it always interesting that the response from Tehran is completely the opposite of what President Trump says? It's almost like we're not making nuclear weapons. We're just trying to do this for energy production, right? So let's hear what the president had to say when he says we're going to be done and what it means moving forward. You're not going to get the real story on the news. Thank God we're here. Next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. Of course, all they do is lie. All they're going to do is lie. Liar's going to lie. Cheater's going to cheat. Like, you don't flip a switch. You don't all of a sudden become rehabilitated and you're like, you know what? I've been a really big liar. I'm going to stop lying. Right? It's like Eric Swalwell. That dude's not having a good week. Not at all. And now Harry Enton's trying to crawl back to me. I see you, Harry. I know what you're doing. I call you out with your silly aggregate polls that are all doom and gloom for this president. Please. Right? Nobody's buying your BS, bro. And then he comes out today and he's like, well, not everybody's happy with congressional Democrats. Well, no duh. They suck. Tell us something we don't know, Harry. I don't know. I'm a little fussy. All right, let's talk about Healthy Cell.
A little.
Healthy Cell, I'm just going to tell you this. As a reasonable sleep aid. No, that's not fair. As a phenomenal sleep aid. Now, this is different than other things that you would take to fall asleep. You almost feel like you have to knock yourself out, which means the next morning when you're trying to claw out of your bed, you feel like a truck hits you. Not when you use REM sleep from Healthy Cell. So this whole company is based on the delivery of their supplements. And they put it in a microgel in a little pouch that you just tear the top off, suck in, and boom, you're good to go. And the beauty of the microgel is it's not a struggle for your gut to digest. And the nutrients that you're trying to get into your gut are being more easily absorbed into your bloodstream and then into your cells, which is what we're trying to do, right? REM sleep relaxes you, shuts off your mind, allows you to fall asleep, stay asleep, right? And then wake up, regardless of how much sleep you've had, comfortable and rested. My eyes are wide open. I have no business feeling this way. Thank you, REM sleep. HealthyCell.com/Wendy. All right. So, whomever this person is who's running their comments in Iran, it's not attributed to anybody, but to this global, whatever, this blanket organization that represents their regime. So, there might be some schmuck like Neera Tanden and the auto pen. I'm sure it's fine. Right. Who's putting out statements. Be careful, because Trump said, we will absolutely obliterate your infrastructure. And after that, you won't come back. You won't come back. Somebody's going to have to take the Iranian people. I don't know. Brock, what's going on? How
Everybody's picking up the Pam Bondi story now.
Is that right?
John Solomon, New York Post. It's always, though, with people close to the administration.
Yes. So I got a text about Sniper, or an email about Sniper, somebody wanting to get more. Next week, we're going to have a 3-day sale on Harmony, which is disinfectwithsniper.com's bug killer. So this is everything from lice, seriously, lice, bed bugs, fleas and ticks, ants, roaches, all of it. It's safe enough to put in your hair. Yeah. Yeah, it is. It's wild. I don't understand it, but it is. Disinfectwithsniper.com. That's next week. And I don't know how much it's going to be. 20% off?
I think it's 20%.
I'm telling you, having one of these bottles in your house is very nice.
I'm interested for the gardeners how much they like the new Harmony, which is specifically just for the garden.
I got to get my spray out so the hosta, when they come back, the deer stay the heck away. That spray, by the way, disinfectwithsniper.com, is phenomenal as a deterrent. There's so many interesting products there. I hope you go and check it out.
I like when you clean your little outdoor bench.
Mm-hmm. Oh, gosh. It had scuzz all over it. And I was like, I was outside doing something with Sniper. So I was just like, psh, psh. Or maybe I was with Knockout. I forget what it was. And then I went inside and it had all dripped off. And I was like literally, I could have just hosed it off, and it was beautiful. Thank you, God. We're very basic people here, you guys. It's not complicated. Tomorrow's already Friday. I'm not so sure we're going to be able to do a Sunday show if there's going to be setting up of computers and whatnot. Depends.
I wouldn't do that at 7 o'clock in the morning.
I know. I just didn't want you to feel rushed.
No.
All right.
Now, Anna Paulina Luna.
On
her trips to Air Force Base to see UFO with Matt Gaetz and Timber.
I'm telling you guys, click on that thing that I put down there in the comments section. Copy and paste it onto your toolbar and bookmark it. And then we'll go back and we'll read it together. 1.48 rumbles. Come on, let's get up to 2. There's no reason for us to end the first hour without 2,000 rumbles. It's an easy click of that thumbs up bubble underneath the video box, and I'm always appreciative. Thank you for that. That's UFO stuff, I'm telling you. It's weird.
I'm kind of into it.
I know. We're going to have to talk about it tomorrow. We're going to have to dig into those articles and I will. He'll be busy.
Wendy throws out her boyfriends like used tissues. Wow.
Hey, I'm selective. You've got to stay in the club. And if you deviate, well, I ain't got no soup for you.
Wow. So.
President does is for a purpose, and it's usually for optics. There's a reason he is salivating over the 250th birthday of this country. There's a reason that there's going to be much fanfare, pomp and circumstance, American pride, historic pride. Everything he does is a projection to everybody else out there about what he wants them to think about this country. The brand USA, for which he is the CEO. This guy is a brand builder. Look what he did with the Trump name. Is he a self-made man? No. In many ways, yes. But it's not like he came out of the woods homeless one day with twigs in his hair and then turned out to be a multi-billionaire several years later. He understands, however, marketing. And when you're marketing peace through strength, damn right you're going to go blow the liver out of people who terrorize other people for fun. So he comes out on television yesterday, knowing damn well the whole world is watching. Guy walks out on a stage. He sucks the oxygen out of the room. Nobody can even get close to the spotlight. It simply does not matter. And he knows it. And he's very purposeful about how he walks, about how he gets to the podium, very specific about the words that are said. And he makes several not so veiled comments to our so-called European allies who have shown him their true colors. Nothing like war to show everybody's true colors, yes? This is what the president started with. Basically, we can all look forward now to a day when we are free from the wickedness of Iranian aggression and the specter of nuclear blackmail. That is a huge statement. I don't want you living with somebody breathing down your neck. I don't want you worried when you walk by the building. What's going to jump out at you when you round the bend? I don't want you to think that on a whim, a crazy Shia cleric somewhere can push a button and neutralize you and everyone you love. And so I took action. And America is better for it. The world is better for it. Basically, he begins by saying he doesn't forget the Americans that Iran has killed, the terror attacks on our troops, the tens of thousands murdered in Iran in the streets. That is this president's justification.
From the very first day I announced my campaign for president in 2015, I have vowed that I would never allow Iran to have a nuclear weapon. This fanatical regime has been chanting death to America, death to Israel for 47 years. Their proxies were behind the murder of 241 Americans in the Marine barracks bombing in Beirut, the slaughter of hundreds of our service members with roadside bombs. They were involved in the attack on the USS Cole, and they carried out the countless other heinous acts, including the just horrible, bloody atrocities of October 7th in Israel, something that most people have never seen anything like it. This murderous regime also recently killed 45,000 of their own people who were protesting in Iran. 45,000 dead. For these terrorists to have nuclear weapons would be an intolerable threat.
Iran terrorized the world for 47 years. This president understands history. He knows the body bag tally. He knows the effect on the military. And what has happened to the Iranian people is unacceptable. And this president says this regime should have been handled years ago by presidents who were too weak to do so.
As I stated in my announcement of Operation Epic Fury, our objectives are very simple and clear. We are systematically dismantling the regime's ability to threaten America or project power outside of their borders. That means eliminating Iran's Navy, which is now absolutely destroyed, hurting their Air Force and their missile program at levels never seen before, and annihilating their defense industrial base. We've done all of it. Their Navy is gone. Their Air Force is gone. Their missiles are just about used up or beaten. Taken together, these actions will cripple Iran military, crush their ability to support terrorist proxies, and deny them the ability to build a nuclear bomb. Our armed forces have been extraordinary. There's never been anything like it militarily. Everyone is talking about it, and tonight I'm pleased to say that these core strategic objectives are nearing completion.
You know, I got got to go a little tinfoil. Got to go a little rabbit hole-y. Brock just perked up. Don't you find it interesting that this president is building an underground AI supercenter, which is also a 21st century bunker that can withstand beyond traditional warfare like nuclear warheads and drones? It can withstand any of the wild stuff that our military deployed on Venezuela when they took down Maduro. We read to you the accounts of this stunned military and people nearby who were literally, whatever the electromagnetic pulse was, whatever rattled them and had them bleeding from their nose and their ears, whatever rendered them completely incapacitated is probably child's play compared to what our military is doing. I wonder, does it have anything to do with the U.S. in this country, which seems to be a top secret everything? The last administration was certainly not terribly transparent. I think this one is. I personally want to know, what do we know? What other entities, other weapons, other aircraft, other systems of what? War exist on a level that you and I can't even imagine. Timed so coincidentally with this return to the moon, but to go beyond it, to go to the dark side and come back. At the same time, we have all these missing researchers and NASA scientists who've been plucked, oddly, several of them, while they've been taking hikes. It seems so oddly coincidental. All of these things going on at the same time. But hey, maybe that's just me. Probably not. Audio soundbite number 3. This is a president who doesn't want to hear from anybody about a forever war. This is going to be a forever war. We're never going to get out. It's going to be... No, see, unlike all the other things that you and I are used to, unlike all of the other battles that you and I have survived historically, this is a little bit different in that it's, fast.
And it's very important that we keep this conflict in perspective. American involvement in World War I lasted 1 year, 7 months, and 5 days. World War II lasted for 3 years, 8 months, and 25 days. The Korean War lasted for 3 years, 1 month, and 2 days. The Vietnam War lasted for 19 years, 5 months, and 29 days. Iraq went on for 8 years, 8 months, and 28 days. We are in this military operation, so powerful, so brilliant, against one of the most powerful countries for 32 days. And the country has been eviscerated and essentially is really no longer a threat. They were the bully of the Middle East, but they're the bully no longer.
32 days. 32 days. 13 dead. Last time we heard that number 13, it was at the Abbey Gate when that ridiculous botched withdrawal killed 13 service members, maimed how many dozens more, and killed how many other civilians. It's different. It's tragic. And this president knows. He says this is a true investment in your children and in your grandchildren. We are about to unleash something in this economy that is very hot. Please be patient.
We built the strongest economy in history. We're going through it right now, the strongest in history. In 1 year, we've taken a dead and crippled country. I hate to say that, but we were a dead and crippled country after the last administration and made it the hottest country anywhere in the world by far, with no inflation, record-setting investments coming into the United States, over $18 trillion, and the highest stock market ever, with 53 all-time record highs in just 1 year. It all positioned us to get rid of a cancer that has long simmered. It's known as the nuclear Iran, and they didn't know what was coming. They've never imagined it.
And in conclusion, he said to the 13 service members who lost their lives, we will never forget.
We think especially of the 13 American warriors who have laid down their lives in this fight to prevent our children from ever having to face a nuclear Iran. Twice this past month, I have traveled to Dover Air Force Base, and it's been something. I wanted to be with those heroes as they return to American soil, and I was with them and their families, their parents, their wives, their husbands. We salute them, and now we must honor them by completing the mission for which they gave their lives. And every single one of the people, their loved ones said, please, sir, please finish the job.
Now, it's interesting. One of the media takes I saw on USA Today was one of the fathers of one of the slain service members. Said, I didn't tell him to finish the job. And then they wanted to go off on some tangent about Trump lied. We had to fact check him. Not everybody said that. And I'm like, you know what? I'm so tired of this petty back and forth. We've got a president who sees exactly what's at stake. We have one individual who knows how to fix the situation, who's trying to put the gas pedal on the ground. And every single thing the Democrats do is meant to slow him down, stall the effort, bog him in some kind of judicial morass, and just make everything miserable so that you bend a knee, break and succumb and say, I surrender. Do whatever you want. No, that's not what making America great again is all about. So did you hear about his trip to the Supreme Court yesterday, the president's, to hear the birthright citizenship argument before the high court? Well, one Nevada congresswoman lost her ever-loving mind. People thought she was drunk when she started tweeting. No, she was just deranged, right? I got it for you next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. Wow, am I keeping you up?
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people were saying to me, that's not true, not a lot, but I was having conversations with two other people about collagen and collagen peptides. And they're like, do you really take them? I'm like, yeah, I really do take them now. And I take them from Get Native Path, getnativepath.com/Wendy. I mean, up to 45% off is what they give it to you for. It's just ridiculous. I'm not sure how they're making money. But a lot of people are like, well, why do you do that? Well, this is kind of interesting. Because if you wake up stiff and you feel like your body's kind of working against you, or you're eating well, you're making good decisions, but the scale is not moving at all, this might be some reason to connect with this. There is one nutritional gap that kind of ties all of these symptoms together, and most doctors never bring it up. We talk about this after 30, your body loses a bunch of stuff, right? It stops making it as much. Collagen is a big part of this. Collagen is the protein that keeps your metabolism running, your hunger in check, your joints cushioned, and your skin firm. Most collagen supplements are loaded with fillers and ingredients you can't even pronounce, but Native Path has one ingredient. It's grass-fed collagen peptides, nothing more. It's third-party tested for purity. One scoop in your morning coffee and you are done. Thousands of customers report less joint pain, better skin, and real weight management support. So you can have it one of two ways. I've been drinking through these. Your cute little 10 milligram packets or 10 gram packets, put it in your coffee, easy peasy. Or you can get this with this scooper, which is what we will be drinking next. I drink it every day. Brock drinks it every single day. I started noticing it for two reasons. It's cartilage in my knees And it's the beginning of that crepey skin in my forearms or up here, right up here. Right. And it happens. If you look at any woman, they've got a lot of men too. So I'm like, ah. And I talk to my friends at Native Path and they're like, collagen, you got to have collagen peptides. So I'm going to drink all of this, the 10 gram, and see if I'm going to increase it to 20. We'll see. Get nativepath.com/Wendy. They are lovely to deal with. Absolutely lovely to deal with. Up to 45% off. A special offer through my link only. Get nativepath.com/Wendy. I went to the P.O. box, by the way, and I'm going to bring in the goodies tomorrow. Several of you made and bought some really lovely things, and I'm deeply gratified. You're so cute. One woman knit us a bunch of crosses. I don't know how she did it. They're magnificent. Crochet, knit, I have no idea. Different colors. I'm like, what? Yeah.
Hopefully I get my Palm Sunday cross.
Are those people making them for, is she making them for Harry Enton? No. Brock's girlfriend, Sandy. I think you can do better.
Wow.
Does anybody think Laura Trump needs to stop benching, weights? She's got the vein in her arm. I don't think it's a good look. Does a man like that look?
No. Well, I can't speak for all men.
Mm.
I like soft and...
If you say the word, I'll punch you because I think it's a grody word.
What, supple?
Yes! Ugh!
I didn't say supple.
Yes,
you
just did. No, you were gone. You knew what I was going to say.
You act like I said moist.
Ah! Welcome back to the Wendy Bell radio program. If you're a parent or a grandparent of multiple children, it's interesting to watch the inner dynamics of the relationship of your kids and how petty even grown-up children can be. It's funny how they compete. I obviously have a special slice of it on Estrogen Island as I have 5 sons. And it's very enjoyable, though it's curious to watch how easy it is to dip back down into some juvenile arguments to, push each other's buttons. I don't think you have the same excuse when you're a sitting United States Congresswoman. Okay? Can we just say that? Like, I didn't vote for Joe Biden any more than I voted for Barack Obama. I didn't vote for him once and didn't feel racist. I didn't vote for him a second time, most assuredly didn't feel racist. Right? I didn't vote for these people. I didn't think they were good for America. But my objective in life wasn't to go out and resist. I sure as hell didn't go out and buy some stupid yard sign that says resist, right? I have these people in my neighborhood. Okay? It's a special slice of nutty. And I don't understand what it is, where in there you're triggered, where the derangement comes from. It's this blinding purpose in life, which is completely self-destructive. And by the way, if you've ever looked at one of these people, particularly the chicks who are resisting Trump, I'm telling you, somebody needs a makeover. Okay, so I want to talk to you. I want to talk to you about this. We saw this article on redstate.com. As a sitting U.S. go on, you shall F-bomb the effing effity FF out of the president of the United States? Would you do that to anybody? No. No, you wouldn't. Well, you're not triggered. Nevada Democrats' expletive-filled rant about Trump's SCOTUS visit backfires, and her follow-up makes it worse. Can it be worse than Lindsey Graham going to Disney World looking like a creeper 70-year-old walking around with a bubble wand, right? And then putting a picture of himself shooting clays, pretending like all of a sudden that negates the very weird pedo feel of what he had first time, right? This is kind of on par with that. The Trump derangement syndrome affliction among Democrats has been well documented at this site and others going back well into his first term in office. Indeed, it seems not a day goes by that we don't see it on display in some form or another, whether it's in the form of a speech on the House floor, a media interview, or a post on social media. Some of the more notable instances that come to mind: Al Green's unhinged outbursts during Trump's addresses to Congress, two of which have gotten him escorted off the floor, after which Green proceeded to portray himself as a victim. Of course, I'm sure it had to do with racism. Another recent instance involves New York Governor Kathy Hochul, whose TDS actually put lives in the Empire State at risk when she refused the offer of help from then DHS Secretary Kristi Noem when they had those forecasts of the brutal winter storm where a bunch of people died on the streets. Yeah, she wouldn't take it because we won't take anything from the Trump administration, and people died. How's that working for you? The latest entrant into the TDS Hall of Shame comes out of the West, in Nevada to be exact. Not surprisingly, President Trump announced on Tuesday that he'd be at the Supreme Court the next day to hear the oral arguments made in the birthright citizenship case, brought about fretting among the usual suspects. And it was a late-night expletive-filled tweet from Democrat state representative from Nevada, Susie Lee, that had people wondering if she was drunk tweeting. At 1:03 a.m. Eastern Time Wednesday, Lee wrote these words in a since-deleted message in response to an Associated Press story that reported Trump's remarks about attending the SCOTUS hearing. So effing effed up. I'll pray they F him to his face. Sorry, I say F a lot these days. What? What the heck was that? Wednesday morning, however, she was unapologetic about the post, seemingly confirming that she did indeed write it and apparently did so while she was sober. She said, "Clearly my language touched a nerve. My nerve was touched by the attacks on our Constitution and its separation of powers. I took an oath to protect and defend it." You know, there's a seat reserved at the Supreme Court building. It's for the President of the United States. It has nothing to do with the separation of powers, you twit. It has to do with you continually needing fresh and imported voters because you've pissed off everybody here in this country who once gave you a shot. And because this president is like, look, we don't need to have anchor babies. We don't need to import all these pregnant babes and have them create their own enclaves and then bring the green card, get all the family members in. Said no to that. This woman, who is a sitting member of Congress, F-ity, F-F, F-ity, F. And we wonder why people shop in freaking Walmart in their pajamas. There you go. There's your leadership. When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, hour number 2, let's go. The government shutdown ends. I mean, kind of, but it didn't really do anything except piss a lot of people off. Next. F-ity, F, F, F.
Can California move on from Gavin Newsom fast enough?
Oh, wow. Why? Why are you saying such things? Just because he's a turd?
No.
Oh.
Gavin Newsom announced that California will be the first state to join the World Health Organization. What?
Good luck. Right? People are like, would you ever go back home to California? I'm like, oh my gosh. No.
Oh, Pam Bonds. People were saying Pam Bondi's out. I didn't see that yet. Is it on Fox?
Yep. So there are leakers inside the administration, huh? Pam Bondi out as Attorney General.
Lee Zeldin rumored to be replacement. I'm okay with him.
Let me tell you guys about More Gains Fitness. More Gains Fitness. 4 locations in Western Pennsylvania, Somerset County and Cambria County. The Richland location, they're having a 14th anniversary bash on April the 18th. The gym is open. You can come, bring a friend, work out for free. They're going to have all sorts of specials. They'll have food trucks, all sorts of stuff to celebrate 14 years for Kelly Morgan and More Gains Fitness. And it's been a joy and an honor to celebrate her and watch her grow her business as during COVID, right? And she got this great idea. A lot of people don't want to go to the gym right now. A lot of people are concerned they've never been to one. Well, what if you could lose a lot of weight and get a lot of strength and confidence if you did it at home, online, 90 days, 90 Ignite. Go to more Gains Fitness, MORGAINZ fitness.com, and look for the big tab. It says 90 Ignite. Click on that. I think you'll like what she's doing. I know I did. She's awesome. I feel like it's time for me to get this freaking mop out of the way. Hasn't taken that long today. I'm just feeling it. What do you guys think? All right. What else is going on? Did we hit 2,000? Let's see. How many bobby pins do you guys think I have? 182. All right, we need 180. Can we get 180 people? I would love that. That would be super duper if you would help us. Oh, there's one back there. Right? Okay. Sorry. 180. I just got another testimonial I have to say about Ghost Bed. And I think a lot of people are finding that when presented a really great new product and the maker of the product is somebody who suffers from chronic pain in the exact areas that we do, back and neck, you kind of pay attention. And then they're like, here's what we're going to do. We're American made. We're going to open this up. We're going to give you the lowest prices of the season and give you an extra 10% off. If you need kind of a concierge service to bring up the mattress into your bedroom, open it up, set it up, they'll offer you that service. And they offer you 101 nights to sleep on the mattress without making a decision about it. And if after 101 nights, you're like, then you can, they'll pick it up and you'll be done with it. I don't think you're going to do that. I know you're not going to do that. And I love that you guys trust me because it's sort of like getting a new roof. You never plan on it, right? And then you're like, snap, I have to make a decision now. And it's an important decision. It's a nice decision to make when it's an American company and a family-run business, and all of this stuff is made here in America. Ghostbed.com/Wendy. Ghostbed.com/Wendy. You know it's been forever since you've gotten a new mattress. Go check the prices. Go check the models. They even have mattresses for RVs, for campers. I'm telling you what, it's great. It's great. I'm excited. When Michael comes home again, he's going to be able to sleep on it. And he's going to be like, what is that bed? I know, babe.
He'll go downstairs.
Pam Bondi out. Okay.
Kelly needs to make us another breaking news sounder. We don't have one. All we have is this.
So what do you telling her I'm going to give you the axe? Well, that's annoying that Caitlin Collins and the New York Times are the ones who broke it, but hats off to them.
You know,
Todd Blanche to become interim AG.
We've heard not good things about him.
We've heard not good things about Todd Blanche from people who are in the administration, and it's not Sean.
No, it's give me Mike Davis. Could Ken Paxton, or are they going to say no? Go ahead and win your race in Texas. I'd like to see Ken Paxton, though. I would also like to see Eric Schmidt. I don't know enough about Lee Zeldin, although I know he's cutting regulations like a champ. Getting rid of wasting all that money.
Nobody has it online yet. It's not out yet. Huh. Man, they had their knives out for her, but she walked into it. She didn't help herself. You know?
She lied. Which makes you wonder if she was a Susie Wild.
You have weird feelings about Susie Wiles. You're worried about her.
Yeah.
You don't think she's all
That was her.
in a bag of donuts?
Yeah, that was her pick.
So she's the Pam Bondi pusher.
Yes.
Who told you that?
I read it where her and Pam Bondi worked together in Florida. I can't remember where I read it though, so I don't want to give it out as fact. But
all right, let's see. Did you guys hook us up? 192.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Wendy Bell, America's anchor mom, fighting for America 1 hour at a time. Welcome to the family.
If you don't use your newfound power, it simply evaporates. It degrades. What's the point? It doesn't grow because nobody becomes afraid of you because you're not using your power. The Democrats invested in Obamacare to the expense of losing the presidency in the House and the Senate. Their return on this is the creation of the belief in the minds of the public that only the government can run things in exchange for this huge leap forward in their agenda. The Republicans simply don't do anything like this. The Republicans, whether they win or lose, are not trying to advance it. That's why Trump was the nominee, and that's why Trump is elected president. The Republican Party used to be the opposition of the Democrats, and it used to be the small government, small taxes, individual liberty party. That's what it was known for. Even before you began talking about conservatism, that's what the party was known for. It's been a long time.
3 hours of bold truth and excellence. You've just signed up for the WBR Army. Strap in. This is the Wendy Bell radio program.
Welcome back. Hour number 2 of the Wendy Bell radio program. And we're going to switch things up, ladies and gentlemen, because this just in, breaking news. That was my sound effect for the Fox News alert. Pam Bondi has been fired. She is out as Attorney General. It looks like Todd Blanche, who is one of President Trump's closest friends and confidants and attorneys, is going to become the interim Attorney General. This is the news. How do you feel about that news? I think this president needed more action. Now, voices on the left are saying he wasn't happy that she wasn't going after his political enemies, all the people who went after him. What did she do? I mean, honestly, if we're going to be honest about this, I'm not so sure we've gotten any kind of demonstrable results in a field in which optics are everything. So let me get you, there's one article we can find right now. This is just happening right now. Again, Attorney General Pam Bondi fired. Makes you wonder if she was riding in the presidential motorcade yesterday in the Beast with the president on the way to the Supreme Court. If he probably said to her inside the limo, "Hey, Pam, sorry, sweetie, it's not working out. I'm just not that into you anymore." Let's read this. DailyCaller.com. Pam Bondi's tenure as Trump's overpromising AG comes to an abrupt end. You know, I'm going to say this, and it's true and it's necessary to say this. There is a terrific double standard between men and women. And I'm not going to say that Pam Bondi was let go from her job because she was incompetent as a woman. But there is this weird nuance between being strong and being a leader as a woman and being a bitch, right? And being icy, being angry, being combative, being all of that. I don't know. I think Kristi Noem and Pam Bondi kind of walked on the edge of that one. I don't know. I think it's very hard to be a woman in a leadership capacity in the government because I think there are traditional roles that we see in each other, and it's a shame that the two women in the administration, two high-profile women, are no longer.
Peter Ducey is saying Pam Bondi will soon step down as Attorney General and will transition to another role within the administration.
Okay. Well, something's going to have to change. Pam Bondi no longer be Attorney General following a tumultuous and controversial tenure, according to Fox. Deputy AG Todd Blanche will lead the Department of Justice in the interim as Bondi moves to another job in the administration. Ducey reported this just minutes ago. So the New York Times first reported yesterday, it was about 6:30 in the afternoon, that Trump was considering firing Bondi Floating Environmental Protection Agency Administrator Lee Zeldin as a potential replacement. Attorney General Pam Bondi is a wonderful person and she is doing a good job, Trump told the NYT. Look, you get to be in a certain position as the president, as the keeper of the brand, as the CEO of Team USA. You've got to have confidence. The American people have to have confidence in the Department of Justice. This is how I felt under Merrick Garland. I thought he was a scumbag from the go. But when you give a position to someone like a Pam Bondi, obviously a very talented person, obviously very capable, these aren't the results that we wanted. How many times did you open up your social media and say, oh, yeah, but nothing's going to be done. Oh, yeah, but nobody's going to be arrested. Oh, yeah, but added to the list of no whatevers, right? See, when Obama, Biden were president for the last 4 years, Merrick Garland, he was an instrument of destruction. He was an instrument of lawfare, of weaponization. I don't mean to say that I think we need to do the same thing. I'm just going to say I'm tired of us being nice like little lambs. Oh, that's not how we do it. We don't want to blow up the filibuster. It's such a good thing, and I just don't think it's the right move. Wake the hell up. This isn't a negotiation. This is war. The reason why MAGA gave America Donald Trump, because MAGA gave us Donald Trump. MAGA created a distaste, a disdain for the traditional, for the people. I don't know about you, but I got infuriated when I saw chummy pictures of Obama and Clinton and Bush. That makes me crazy. I have nothing in common with you people. If I was a real Republican president, I'm not here to be chummy with you. I know what you want to do. But see, he wants to do it too. We created Donald Trump because we were done with business as usual. And so one has to wonder, what was it? That we never saw any progress from this woman. So Bondi faced intense backlash, consistent backlash over her handling of the Epstein files, right? What did they do to Kristi Noem? She was the ice princess, right? She's the ice princess, and they made her Ice Barbie, right? It's amazing how the Me Too crowd on the left is so quick to destroy any Republican women on the right. Epstein files, she claimed in February of 2025 to have Epstein's client list on her desk. She delivered binders. It was just dumb. Binders containing little new information. Days later, conservative influencers at the White House, remember, they all came outside with these binders that had nothing new in them, and it was just ugly pie in the face. The issue escalated in July when Axios reported a DOJ memo concluded there was no client list, and Epstein did commit suicide, rather. After Congress passed the Epstein Files Transparency Act in November, the DOJ began releasing batches of documents. House Oversight Committee then voted in March to call Bondi to testify about the Epstein files, with 5 Republicans joining Democrats. And a straw poll of Turning Point USA America Fest attendees in December found Bondi was the least popular cabinet secretary with a 60% approval rating. Her total approval rating dropped 47 points in 10 months, according to an Atlantis Intel poll reported by Newsweek in December. Well, the president has reportedly been unhappy with her leadership for months, categorizing her privately as a weak and ineffective enforcer. One dispute boiled over publicly in September when Trump made a Truth Social post that kind of read like a direct message to her, questioning the lack of progress on investigations into former FBI Director James Comey and Adam Schiff and Letitia James. So now what? Well, 2 of the left's favorite targets have now been carved out of the administration. It's unfortunate. But this is the way it goes. And the reality is we haven't seen progress. Now, as an aside, I should say this, moments before we hit the air about an hour and 15 minutes ago, I saw a video of Dr. Oz. Where's Dr. Oz? He's in LA right now. You know what they're doing with the FBI? They're cracking down on all of those hospice losers who've been bilking the American taxpayer of billions of dollars. There is progress. There is progress, but it's not fast enough. So my question now is this partial government shutdown, apparently it seems to be over. I guess that's at least what they're telling us. I don't know if I believe it, but the play to slow walk this, the thing that's going on in Congress right now is ridiculous. You have House Republicans now caving to John Thune, who made a deal with Schumer to do 2 tracks of funding for the Department of Homeland Security. But you know what happens? Nothing. ICE is completely funded for 3 more years. It's at that point that we're going to have conversations about reconciliation and how you're going to go about funding it in the future, what that looks like. But they held our TSA agents and our FEMA workers and the United States Coast Guard hostage for 45 days. For what? For what? See, I'm tired of Republicans who go along with it. I'm tired of it. And there is a growing core of voices in the House of Representatives, but it is not nearly large enough. So when we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, we're going to continue to monitor the situation. I don't know much more you can say. Pam Bondi's out. Okay. She'll land somewhere within the administration. So did Kristi Noem. It's not like they were both knocked out. When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, my friend, let's talk about this government shutdown that ended without much fanfare. What's in it for you? Next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. I don't know.
That Pam Bondi thing might be a bigger story than the Daily Mail. I'm going to send it to you. Is reporting that she was a leaker.
That Bondi was.
Yeah. With Eric Swalwell. That's what they're reporting. I just sent you the story. Trump's reasoning for the sudden dismissal comes in part because the president believes Bondi tipped off Eric Swalwell about the FBI's effort to release investigative documents related to his relationship with Fang Fang.
And that allowed him to get front and center on it, right? I've been exonerated. They didn't find anything. I'm a victim. Pam Bondi begged Trump not to fire her during dramatic White House showdown as insider reveals his final straw. I don't know what to believe, guys. Trump does not like disloyal.
And if she was any very loyal to Susie Wiles, or he has been. Eric Schmidt. I'm jumping on the Wendy Bell train.
You guys, I got to say, she made Vikash Patel and Dan Bongino say that he killed himself. Had to.
Well, they were behind it, and I'm not making excuses for anyone. You think what you want about Dan and Cash. But she hamstrung everybody in that administration was saying, they're on my desk and handing out those binders that.
That's what I just said. It was just.
Yeah. She hamstrung them all.
Then this thing with Kristi Noem's husband comes out. And it's like that's a play to try to generate some sympathy for Kristi Noem.
And now Newsmax is reporting President Donald Trump has reportedly sought input from cabinet members on whether to replace Tulsi Gabbard.
Wow, a clean sweep of the ovaries.
Don't Send a woman to do a man's job.
Wow.
I'm kidding.
Wow.
I'm kidding.
Hmm.
Refer your comments to someone other than me. I'm kidding.
Jump in the comments section. Tell us what you guys think is going on.
Tell us who you think that you would like to see as Attorney General.
Who's the puppeteer who's making all of this? Is this Stephen Miller? What is it?
I want to see him as chief of staff. Do you want to say something nice real quick? You have a minute.
Oh my gosh, thank you. Simkovich Concussion Institute, 412-366-3700. Simkovich Concussion Institute, 412-366-3700. You do not have to live in the dark. You do not have to live alone. You do not have to be worried. You do not have to think that this is your new normal. If you've been hurt, you think you've suffered a traumatic brain injury, you know. You have chronic headaches. You have essential tremor. We can add that to the list. Get help. People fly in to see Dr. Simkovich. They come in for 1 week and they get their lives back. 412-366-3700, SimkovichConcussionInstitute.com. Because it works.
I'm going to say something else. Is Susie Wiles gone before the primaries or the November?
Yeah.
Well, she said she was staying until after that.
Oh. Welcome back to the Wendy Bell radio program. This Pam Bondi getting the boot as the head of the Department of Justice basically is now prompting all of these other stories, which is very interesting. Here's one. Pam Bondi begged Trump not to fire her during dramatic White House showdown as insider reveals his final straw. This is from the dailymail.co.uk. Attorney General Pam Bondi begged Donald Trump not to fire her in an explosive showdown at the White House after he accused her of an unforgivable offense. Trump fired Bondi on Thursday, the second cabinet casualty in less than a month following Kristi Noem's ouster, following months of controversy, including the botched handling of the Epstein files. Trump informed her of the decision shortly before his primetime Iran war address to the nation, a senior administration source told the Daily Mail. Now, Bondi responded by pleading for the president to give her more time in the role. But Trump remained firm that her time leading the agency was over. She was unhappy and tried to change his mind, the source said. However, the president told her she was fired and that an announcement would be made shortly. The announcement had been due to be made on Friday, but has been rushed out after rampant media speculation erupted overnight. Trump's reasoning for the sudden dismissal comes in part because the president believes Bondi tipped off Eric Swalwell about the FBI's efforts to release investigative documents related to his relationship with an alleged Chinese spy. The FBI was preparing a cache of documents on Swalwell's relationship with Christine Fang. She's intervening in those matters. The White House wasn't pleased she was intervening due to her personal friendship with Swalwell, the source added. It's unclear why Bondi would have intervened, but it is believed that Bondi and Swalwell have a friendly relationship. Swalwell has openly criticized her since she took the AG position after failing to prosecute multiple death threats against him and his family. Wednesday, Bondi traveled with Trump to the Supreme Court to watch proceedings for the birthright citizenship case and attended his primetime speech about the war in Iran. But as the president's cabinet gathered to focus on Iran, rumors ricocheted through Washington about Bondi's replacement. She's taken a lower media profile in recent weeks as the president privately excoriates her for failing to prosecute his political enemies who tried to throw him in jail and end his political career. Now, that seems like a kind of pie in the sky statement, but I could totally see it. I wouldn't doubt it, right? I wouldn't doubt it. They authorized lethal force when they raided his freaking house. Can you think of, to one man, to President Trump, to have strangers with boots and guns invade the sanctity of your castle, of your home, and rifle through your wife's underwear drawer. Yeah, I'm not so sure I would, I'm not so sure I'd forgive that. Reports have circulated that Trump is considering tapping MAGA-aligned EPA Administrator Lee Zeldin to permanently replace her. Let's hope it's Zeldin, one former Trump administration official told the Daily Mail. I hate this. This is news today. There's no attribution. There's nobody on the record. It's all somebody familiar with the investigation or somebody agreed to talk to us on condition of anonymity or, oh, I don't know, it's classified. We'll have to get into that in a different setting. No. No. Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche is also raising his profile, appearing at CPAC last week, where he received a warm welcome from conservatives in the audience. I don't trust him either. And then there's that person inside of me that wonders, Trump seems to know everything before things happen. Do you believe he puts people in positions so that they are exposed? So that allegiances are understood, that loyalty is proven, and that when something disloyal happens, it's taken care of and neutralized. I get that vibe. I don't know if it's going to be Lee Zeldin. This is obviously something they hadn't talked much about in this article, and not too much about Todd Blanche. But you know what? We'll see what happens. I don't know. I have no idea. We'll see. But this is occupying all the space right now. Pam Bondi ousted Todd Blanche to become interim attorney general, and this was being set up for a long time. Now, Brock, you said you heard something about a third cabinet member who might be in the crosshairs?
Yeah, Newsmax is saying not Pam Bondi, Tulsi Gabbard. Trump was asking cabinet members for their input on it.
Newsmax, Tulsi. I'm plugging this in as we speak. That's not coming across here on my page, but I'm going to look into it in the commercial break, ladies and gentlemen. Right now, if you're joining us, and I know you are, Pam Bondi is out as Attorney General right now. Just Todd Blanche, President Trump's right-hand guy, taking the role interim Attorney General heading the Department of Justice. We'll get our ducks in a row, gear up, and give you the latest right after this on the Wendy Bell Radio Network.
Check that last text I gave you. That's where the Newsmax
thank you.
link is.
For some reason, my computer, and I need to do a full hard reset on everything here because your texts aren't coming across on my computer for like 10 minutes. Okay, that'll be good. All right. Tulip blooms. So I'm very excited. I got my tulip blooms shipment for my sister's birthday tomorrow. So I got her the beautiful velour massaging oil. Anything on your body that's dry, cracked, hurting, aching, needs some nourishment and some TLC, put a squirt of this in the palm of your hands, warm it up, rubbing your hands together, and then rub it on anything that needs the love. If you put it on your feet, put on some socks, put your feet up, or put them in the foot massager, and then you'll be like, I can't leave right now, honey. Sorry. So wonderful. I also got my sister one of their beautiful candles. And I also got her, there's this blue calming product for your face. So if you have splotchy skin, you have rosacea, you have what have you, it calms it down and makes it so much better. And I know my sister would love that. So I got her those 3, and they show up and they're cutely wrapped and everything. It's the greatest gift. tulipblooms.shop/Wendy. I'm a complete addict now. I've been using this product since August. Not this particular one, but I've been using all of their stuff. And I knew I loved it when I used it up and called the owner of the company and said, I think we should work together. I like that much. tulipblooms.shop/Wendy. It's just It's all that. And they're going to give you an extra 10% off. Make sure you throw in my name there when you check out. Oh, thanks, Glow. Glow just sent me something on Trump's Truth. Yes. Yep. There we go. Pam Bondi is
It's all exes.
Huh?
Pam Bondi.
Oh, it's all X is.
Yeah.
Okay, got you. Right. Who knows, you guys? Oh, wow. More people sending me stuff. I love you. Monday.
Maybe what?
Trump talked to her before the address. New York Times dropped it at about 6:30. Caitlin Collins had it at 7:30, then went on live TV with it at 8:04, 8:05. I don't know.
How about Mike Davis?
Yeah, he's badass. 2.13. Let's go to 2.5, you guys. I love it. Thank you. At the halfway mark, just think we could be at 4.2 if we continued this for 3 whole hours.
How long till they approve a new one? I'm sure the Senate will drag their feet, unless it's someone from the Senate. Oh, hell, just let Marco Rubio do it. Maybe that's the question. How long till the meme of Marco Rubio taking over for Pam Bondi comes out? As soon as someone gets fired or killed or...
Look, I don't mean to bemoan the fact that they're women or what have you. I just find it interesting. It's interesting. It's a hard nut to crack to be a strong woman in a powerful position without crossing over into being just a pain in the neck. I would much rather work for men than women. Much rather.
I think that...
Which is weird.
They have women who, and they get to a certain point that they feel like they have to act like a man. And
yeah, or like crack the hammer, like crack the whip.
I'm not going to listen to you. Like,
I need respect. And it's like, what we want is just good communicators with good ideas who know how to get stuff done under budget and ahead of schedule. That's kind of it, don't you think? I didn't really see, I don't know. The Kristi Noem, why would you spend $200 million on an ad campaign? That's just a weird...
There's a lot of things that...
There's just a weird narcissism about that. Like, I don't want to be... I remember telling stories on television and the camera guy would go around to get a cutaway of me listening. And I'm like, I'm never going to use that shot.
Yeah.
Don't get a picture of me. And he's like, well, what if we I'm like, no, I'll write it so that there's no need for a shot of me, right? People know what I look like. We don't even look at me.
Matt Gaetz would never get approved. That's why he dropped out the first time.
Matt Gaetz is talking about UFOs, yo. Of course he wouldn't get approved. Right? Right? He's a truth teller. He's the guy who doesn't take PAC money. Right? He doesn't have special interests.
Well, maybe Pam Bondi can get paid by Fox now that she
was there all the time.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're kind of hopscotching all over the place, people. We'll skip ahead to 1:30 and then we'll figure out if one can go into the 2 spot. I don't know. We'll figure it out. In fact, 20 minutes ago, Pam Bondi is a great American patriot and a loyal friend who faithfully served as my attorney general over the past year. Pam did a tremendous job overseeing a massive crackdown in crime across our country, with murders plummeting to their lowest level since 1900. We love Pam, and she will be transitioning to a much needed and important new job in the private sector to be announced at a date in the near future. And our Deputy Attorney General, a very talented and respected legal mind, Todd Blanche, will step in to serve as acting Attorney General. Thank you for your attention to this man. So he said, loyal friend, faithfully served, and we have no idea where she's going. We have to create it first. So that's sort of where that is. And then there's this. Where did that go, Brock? Newsmax. Dang it. I keep losing the things on my computer. I'm sorry. So let me pull this up. So Trump has reportedly said he's reportedly sought input from cabinet members on whether to replace Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard. President Trump has reportedly sought input to do so. He has privately raised concerns about Gabbard's leadership in recent weeks, particularly following internal disputes over intelligence assessments tied to the administration's military actions against Iran, according to a report filed Thursday from The Guardian. The discussion comes after the resignation of National Counterterrorism Center Director Joe Kent, who publicly disagreed with the administration's position that Iran posed an imminent threat. Well, I don't care what he thinks. I've listened ad nauseum to what Marco Rubio has said, to General Kane, to the president himself, to Pete Hegseth. It's the same story every time they tell you they were very close to a nuclear weapon. It's sort of like not blowing up the filibuster, right? Well, we don't want to do that. We don't think they're going to do that. We don't think they've got a nuclear weapon until they do, and then, ooh, you be dead. Right? Oh, well, they actually are going to blow up the filibuster. Oh, dang it. Now America is completely cooked. I hate being in that position. So as we monitor what's going on, and it's frustrating because we're getting kind of information from all over the place. We'll keep you posted on that. I did want to turn to this story, which is beyond disturbing, of this citizenship question. It also raises very serious questions about surrogacy, about human trafficking, possibly about child abuse, about a lot of things. And it is one of the wildest things I've heard. So there is a couple, a man and a woman. He's like 60-something, she's 30-something. They're not married. But together, they have 21 kids. 21. And 17 of those kids are toddlers or younger. Okay, I've had twins. If you want to run around with two toddlers, that's a lot of work. You want to have 17 of them? What's going on inside this California mansion? What's happening? What are they doing inside this Arcadia, California home? Are they child trafficking? I want you to hear this ABC 7 from Los Angeles Investigates story about a Chinese couple not just hoarding babies born from surrogates, but more. Listen.
7 on Your Side investigates a case of child abuse that could lead to a wider investigation tonight. It involves 21 children, all linked to the same couple in Arcadia. Eyewitness News reporter Rob Hayes live with the details. Rob?
Yeah, Mark, 21 children all living inside this house, all of them from surrogate moms. 17 of them were 3 years old or younger. Now, we tried to talk to the folks who live here, but the front gate's been locked all day. That didn't stop the police from getting in, though.
It's a house that looks like a castle, but it's under investigation for being a possible factory, a baby factory.
We believe that it extended beyond our city and into possibly other parts of the country and maybe internationally.
Arcadia police stumbled upon this house on Camino Real Avenue while investigating a child abuse case, a 2-month-old suffering a traumatic head injury. After getting a search warrant, detectives seized security cameras from inside the home and made some alarming discoveries.
We discovered numerous children, 15 children to be specific, ranging in ages from 2 months old to 13 years old. Many of the children were birthed through surrogacy, and then the male and female at the residence took legal guardianship of those kids.
6 other kids, investigators say, had been moved to other homes. All 21 of the kids confirmed to be the children of this couple, 65-year-old Guojun Shen and 38-year-old Sylvia Zhang. They were arrested for felony child endangerment but later released. Police have also issued an arrest warrant for their nanny, 56-year-old Chun Mei Lee. Investigators say after looking at the surveillance video, she is the main suspect in the child abuse case and is still on the loose.
The discipline, both verbally and physical, was severe to the point where, again, it supported the beliefs that child abuse was occurring inside the home.
Is this just the craziest thing? What is going on? What is going on with this baby making? What is going on with this staggering number that there's something like 500 at a minimum international boutique travel services that offer for $50,000 to $150,000 or more? These instead of going to Club Med, right? These pregnant women come here to give birth and basically plant the seed of bringing everybody else from their homeland back over to America, where we now have 9% of live births in this country are from women who are not American citizens, but whose babies are. Why on earth would some shady and totally sus dude, some Chinese guy and this Chinese gal, not married but with a nanny, have 21 kids? And then there's video inside, tucked away inside this enormous gated mansion. On the outskirts of Los Angeles, a couple was raising nearly 24 children, most under the age of 3, when their shrouded lives were thrust into public view. Go Jun-hwan and Sylvia Zhang drew national interest back in July of last year, after authorities raided their Arcadia home and took 21 kids, mostly surrogate born, into custody. The raid came after that 2-month-old son was rushed to the hospital. These 2 people are in the news today fighting for their ability to continue making babies with surrogates. What is going on? Part 2 of this article is just as disturbing as having a dozen children under the age of 3 makes you wonder. Was he... I can't think about it. Go ahead, play this.
Well, sources tell us of the 21 children, 17 are 3 years old or younger. So where did all these kids come from? That is what the FBI is trying to figure out. The Bureau refused to comment on the case, but Arcadia police confirmed that their detectives are working with the FBI. Arcadia's investigation, though, determined that the children are the product of a surrogacy operation owned, you guessed it, by Zhang and Shen.
It's horrific. It's disturbing. It's damaging emotionally.
Kayla Elliott is one of the surrogate mothers hired by Zhang and Shen. She says they told her they only had one other child. She's now hoping to get custody of the child that she bore for the couple.
These agencies were supposed to trust them and follow their guidance, and come to find out the whole thing was a scam, and the parents own the agency. I mean, that was not disclosed at all beforehand.
Anything goes. And these clinics, these agencies, are not regulated by any governing body.
Callie Fell is with the nonprofit Center of Bioethics and Culture, and she's working with Kayla Elliott. Fell says having more than 20 children through surrogates is not illegal, but it raises serious questions as to why people would do that.
That, to me, smells of trafficking, child trafficking. What are the intentions of having that many children at home through these assisted reproductive technologies?
Now, police tell us all 21 children are in DCFS custody. No charges have been filed. The LA County District Attorney's Office is not commenting on this case.
I mean, is that acceptable to you? And now 5 of the surrogate moms who found out what this pair was doing are now suing to get custody of the children that they had for the couple. And the story was always the same. Oh, we're just a couple and we want to have one more child, but we just can't. We're infertile. So we'll pay you $50,000 to carry this baby. Why would somebody uber wealthy be creating some baby making factory? Why did we hear that on Jeffrey Epstein's New Mexico ranch, there was some weird fertility experiment going on, and that allegedly Epstein was trying to populate, I don't know, create his own spawn that would go do like what? And now yesterday we hear from Matt Gaetz on the Benny Johnson show saying, I know for a fact that our military is aware of biologics, some kind of material that's not human DNA that they found inside whatever spacecraft that they know has crashed into this country, our planet, and that there's some weird top secret program to mate, to bring together alien life and humans in some capacity for intergalactic what? I'm sorry, you guys. I don't mean to be one of these incredulous, but for a long time, we have said on this program, the human trafficking thing. It's like the human collateral. And it's not just votes. It's not just a body count. This almost lack of any kind of respect for life. That you could do whatever you want to it. And that could be a business. Because it most assuredly is. Now, here's the part I don't understand. The FBI in this story in Arcadia, California, we're not commenting on it. The same way the military, well, we're not going to comment on those biologics. Well, we're not going to talk about UFOs or aliens or anything. That's crazy. We're not going to. Jeffrey Epstein most assuredly committed suicide, and there is absolutely no black book. Okay. Huh. And President Trump thinks Pam Bondi is loyal. Okay. When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, my friends, let's talk a little bit about Kristi Noem's cross-dressing husband. It's just weird. We got to go there just briefly, not long. And then Democrats' identity politics, well, it has made them hardly recognizable anymore. This Irina Zarutska story, the mural, it's Democrats at their worst. Next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. There's no oversight, nobody paying attention on anything. And who slips through the cracks? Kids. This is awful. I can't even describe it. All right, Texas Bullion Exchange. I love Texas Bullion Exchange. WendyLovesGold.com. You know, a lot of people think they can't afford gold, silver, platinum, and palladium. There's never a good time to plunk down thousands of dollars on precious metals. What if you already have that in your IRA? What if you've been saving for retirement through various IRAs for years, and now you're sitting on a pot of money? And what if you took a portion of that money and you instead converted into precious metals IRAs? Because you can do that. You don't have to physically hold the gold. You don't have to have it in your closet. You don't have to stick it in your coats and your shoes like Gold Bar Bob. But you can have it without spending cash out of hand because it's already in your retirement. It's a very interesting concept. Something they will help you with. They will walk you through very easily. And they'll send you a wealth preservation guide from Texas Bullion Exchange. I personally love to call people and talk to them on the phone. If you rather not, they have an intake form. You just plug in your name and your phone number and your email address, and somebody will get in touch with you. 855-927-5557. Wendy Loves Gold. Texas Bullion Exchange is the only company I know that guarantees your purchase by promising you when you sell back your gold, silver, platinum, or palladium, you will never sell it back at a loss. You will never sell it back for less than what you bought it for. It's a pretty good promise. I like that. All right, we're going to be able to talk about Tom next. Where is my Tom sheet? There we go. Brock, what is going on in this world? Right? 2.27. Look at us limping along.
I'm trying to find something for 2.
Who leaked it to the LA Times? Who is a leaker? Because you would imagine if the president is talking with Pam Bondi, there probably aren't going to be a whole lot of ancillary people along. That's a one-on-one kind of deal, isn't it? I would think.
Well, I think he'd have to have other people in the room just for. Well, I guess everything's probably recorded. I mean, who's HR for the. When you get fired, you get pulled in and you always see HR with them. That's how you know you're getting fired, is when your boss pulls you in and the HR lady's there.
Yeah, they did that to me 10 years ago on Monday.
Yeah, they did it to me too. Walked in, didn't know who that lady was. And I was like, oh, called Wendy, getting fired.
Mm-hmm.
Texted you.
Yeah. So I waited.
Yeah, they tried to start and I was like, hold on 1 second. I texted you fired. Then I did a little negotiating and then.
What do you mean you did a little negotiating?
I got them to pay my benefits without having to go on Cobra.
Welcome back to the Wendy Bell Radio program, my friends. This is just one of those weird stories. I'm beginning to feel like I'm the only person out there who's not a weird sexual deviant kinkster. Kristi Noem's cross-dressing husband. Did you guys see any of the pictures on social media of this guy, Kristi Noem's husband? It's just unfortunate, okay? Like,
It's not a good look on
I
anyway.
don't take joy at all in watching people. I don't know. It's like we know more about her husband's cross-dressing with the fake breasts than we know what happened with Nancy Guthrie. Like, make it make sense. Kristi Noem's husband's cross-dressing fetish. It's a leak that sparks wild speculation in D.C., including a shocking theory. The shocking... Are you shocked by anything anymore? No. And pictures of Kristi Noem's cross-dressing husband sporting comically large fake breasts.
He just doesn't have the figure for it. That's the problem.
Have prompted a new parlor game in Washington. Who was behind the story and why did they do it? Well, one theory among Republican strategists who know Noem is that she may have had a hand in the leak to the Daily Mail as part of a cynical play to rehabilitate her image after President Trump fired her as Homeland Security Secretary. Why would ensnarling your husband's cross-dressing, fake breast-wearing fetishes have anything to do with your job approval or competence? I have no idea.
Maybe people would feel bad for her.
I don't know. It's like the same lunacy that makes Don Lemon think he could be president. I mean, like, what? I do think she could have leaked it. One insider told the Post. This is the New York Post. 3 others said they are not ruling out the possibility. Again, with the lack of attribution, nobody knows who's talking. They could be making up all sorts of stuff. Sadly, there's a photograph of the dude wearing these big fake breasts, and he looks like he very much enjoys it, and it's very disturbing. I mean, maybe if I
just
had
want to
very
yell,
big
put a shirt on.
Maybe if I had very big breasts, I'd enjoy it too. I can't tell you. I don't know. So it's all part of a comeback tour that she and her longtime advisor and lover, Corey Lewandowski, are plotting with one possible goal: winning the White House. What? So wait. So somebody out there is trying to say that Corey Lewandowski and Kristi Noem are concocting some scheme to go run for president? Are you out of your ever-loving mind? Well, the shocking accusation that Byron Nome cross-dresses and chats online with fetish models. I don't even want to know what that is. What's a fetish model? Was seen by some strategists as a ploy to help the duo overcome a series of controversies after their careers crashed and burned following a disastrous Senate hearing on March 3rd. You know what they remind me of, Brock? Remember that woman and that dude that were at a game and they were caught snuggling and his arms were around her up in the box?
That was at the Coldplay concert.
That's it. It was at the Coldplay concert, and they're both married, right? And there they are, and sort of like the kiss cam goes up and finds him, and they see themselves on the Jumbotron, and she flips around and like hits the deck, and he's like, oh, nothing to see here, right? And everyone's like, oh, busted. He ended up losing his job. They both got divorced, right?
And he was worth a ton of money.
It was awful.
Not anymore.
That's sort of what this is feeling like to me. Noam and Lewandowski did not respond to the Post request for comment. Shocker. Noam's response to the story about her husband who lives in South Dakota. I can't imagine there are a whole lot of South Dakota dudes out there walking around with fake breasts. I don't know. Well, she and Lewandowski reportedly cohabitate in the Coast Guard Commandant's residence on a Washington, D.C. military base. Well, she said, Ms. Noam, I guess her spokespeople, Ms. Noam is devastated. The family was blindsided by this, and they asked for privacy and prayers at the time.
How could you be blindsided? He has this stuff in his house.
I don't know. If you know,
honey, what's this hanging in the closet? Big boobs and.
Excuse me, Byron. Why are you wearing my undies? I mean, it's not funny, but it is. It's so ridiculous. This is not just exclusive to the Republicans either, or to the Democrats either.
Maybe he was chatting with Lindsey Graham wearing his pink.
Right? So now, doesn't everything that you hear make you feel like, man, it's like this giant frat party. Capitol Hill is
that is not a frat party. That is not a frat party. I've been to a frat party and have never seen a guy with big hooters at a fake hooters at a frat party. So I'm going to call that fake news.
Okay, quick time out. When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, I want to kind of go into kind of the diagnosis. Like, how did the New York Times break the story about Pam Bondi? How did they all follow in? And then there's Caitlin Collins tweeting about. We're going to talk a little bit more about that, get you an update. Pam Bondi out Todd Blanche is acting attorney general. More next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. All right, I don't know what we're going to do there. I do know this, and this is a very exciting idea. If you're under the age of 65 and the Affordable Care Act is not affordable and it's not giving you the care that you need. I mean, there's no reason for a grown man to get roped into some terrible policy that jacks up his premium, restricts where he can go, the doctors he can see, increases his deductibles, and at the end saddles him with a bunch of unnecessary stuff like maternity care that he's never going to use. Wouldn't it be great if you could find a plan and kind of a la carte choose what you need? Oh, yeah, that exists. And you don't know about it, but we do. And we trust the guy who's behind it 100%. Health Revolution. This is what this is. Health Revolution. info.healthrevolution.net. I want you to write that down. I want you to consider this. For most families, saving 30 to 60% on your health insurance premium, it's a big deal. That's a deal changer, right? That is a life changer. No copays, reasonable deductibles, and the freedom to see any doctor you choose. For most families, that's hundreds of dollars back in your pocket. No waiting for open enrollment. These plans are available to you right now. If you are self-employed, if you are paying for your own coverage, if you are on COBRA, if you're just done overpaying and you're under the age of 65, Health Revolution will custom design a plan built around your life. It's as simple as that. Okay? So take control of your health care today. 1-800-868-6187. 800-868-6187, info.healthrevolution.net. You're not stuck. Okay? You're not stuck. Tom can help you. These people can help you. I'm very excited by it. I think it's nice, especially if you have a kid who's now off of your health insurance. Where do you go? You're healthy. You don't need much but catastrophic coverage. Well, is there a plan for that? Yeah, absolutely. We can make that for you. Okay. Info.healthrevolution.net. Yes. Yes.
I don't know what frat parties you were going to.
No, it's like, maybe not frat. It's like an orgy is what I meant.
Oh, well, I've never been to one of those, so I wouldn't know.
And I have.
You're the one bringing it up. I'm just saying I've never been to one.
I hate everything about you right now. That's just how it goes.
Wow.
Let's see, 2.27, 2.34. I never thought that getting to 3 would be a struggle. It's a struggle. If you can, click the thumbs up button underneath the video box. That helps me a ton. Thank you. Already, we have 3. Thank you. Now we have to figure out what we're going to talk about, Brock.
Let me go into rooting.
See,
Oh, former White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows reacts to breaking news that Pam Bondi is out as Attorney General. This is on Benny Johnson's page, suggests Senator Eric Schmidt as a replacement. I don't know how.
Thank you, God.
Well, I mean, that's who Mark Meadows says, but you're going to have to find someone in the Senate. And Lee Zeldin was a senator, so maybe he'd get confirmed. They need to confirm somebody fast.
He was a House member.
Was he a House member?
Mm-hmm. Get confirmed.
Yes. Todd Blanche would never get confirmed. I've seen reports. I only saw it one place, and that was Laura.
He's a
Loomer,
placeholder.
that he's a Democrat at heart.
Who? Todd Blanche?
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, we've heard from good authority that he's not a trustworthy member. I also think sometimes Trump puts people in positions to set them up, to flush them out.
The Marco meme is already out. It surprised me.
What does that mean? I don't know.
About him being the Pam Bondi's. Fox News states President Trump is eyeing Lee Zeldin.
Yeah, I've got it right here. He's universally liked, if I'm not mistaken. Let's just stick with this then, Brock. I've got to.
Someone put, I hear we need a new attorney.
My personal computer.
Me too. Speed test.
This is terrible in here.
See, I'm getting good numbers over here.
Oh, that's all that matters.
You. Wow. You guys see what I deal with.
Oh, Bubba. That's terrible.
You also didn't talk about the bond of 130.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to talk about that too?
I'm not on it right now, Brock. I haven't seen it.
Oh, the report about the Arena Zarus.
Yeah, we'll do that. Yes, I will do Zeldin, and then we'll go to this.
See what happens when there's breaking news.
What? We just have
We
to
can throw everything off.
Yeah, I mean, what are you going to do?
Right. Yeah.
What are you going to do? I have a hard time saying a whole lot about Pam Bondi. I never had a vibe on her.
Well, I didn't like her.
4, 3, 2, 1. Wendy Bell, America's anchor mom, fighting for America 1 hour at a time. Welcome to the family. She once hosted a 3-hour show in just 15 minutes. She once intimidated the Electoral College to audit itself. Her monologues are so sharp, they're considered a concealed carry weapon. Fact-checker sites routinely issue her a retraction a week in advance. Even her commercial breaks trend on social media. Her freedom of speech has diplomatic immunity. She doesn't just drain the swamp has to ask for cab fare. Wendy Bell is the most interesting conservative woman on radio. Keep rumbling, my friends. 3 hours of bold truth and excellence. You've just signed up for the WBR Army. Strap in. This is the Wendy Bell radio program.
Welcome back. Hour number 3 of the Wendy Bell radio program is live. We are staying on this story, obviously breaking news that Pam Bondi is out as Attorney General. And that she's going to bounce somewhere in the administration, but the president hasn't said where. He says she is loved, she is loyal and trustworthy. I don't know. I don't know what it is. So this Todd Blanche is a placeholder. He's not going to be the guy who's going to become the next Attorney General. I just don't see that happening. But now more people are picking up the story that it could be former Congressman and current EPA Administrator Lee Zeldin. And he would be a great pick. He would be a great pick. I think Brock and my money is on Eric Schmidt. I'd love to find somebody, and to Brock's point, and it's a good one. Remember, you got to get this across the Senate finish line. So you need to choose somebody that the Senate is familiar with, friendly with, and it would probably be a member of Congress or former or a current sitting member of the Senate. Kind of how it is. All right, so here's the story from Gateway Pundit. Trump eyes EPA Chief Lee Zeldin to replace AG Pam Bondi in major shakeup at the DOJ. Multiple sources confirming the 47th president already fired Attorney General Pam Bondi and replaced her. See, they're saying he's already in with none other than EPA Administrator Lee Zeldin. The Gateway Pundit reported earlier that Trump has already fired her after this meeting. Yada, yada. She was brought in to restore order, but the president has grown increasingly frustrated. It makes sense.
Wouldn't you want to have someone in place? I could see him already talking to Lee Zeldin of having someone in place to get ready to get confirmed as fast as possible.
100%. And now, isn't the Senate back? Aren't they calling the Senate back? Are we going to have some semblance of actual life, right? In the I don't know. So they're talking about that. And we're certainly going to keep our eyes on this. But you know what? One of these stories has piqued my interest. So much of the hypocrisy, it is on full display for you. It's like people like Eric Swalwell pretending to be a victim of President Trump weaponizing the government against him. When Eric Swalwell played an active role in being Adam Schiff's leaker during the Russia nightmare crossfire hurricane. I mean, it's like us all being worried about, these poor migrants coming in from other places, like these people from Somalia, they're just, and then these are the people who are ripping us off blind. It's like, it's so ridiculous. You have to look in the mirror and be like, come on. What you talking about, Willis? Am I being played? Are we being punked? Who in their right mind would reject in an artsy, liberal artistic community such as Providence, Rhode Island, where there are murals everywhere, why would there be pushback against a Ukrainian refugee who escaped her war-torn country to come to this great land, only to have her throat slashed by a crazed lunatic that the left failed? A known danger on the street, had been arrested how many times? He had even called 911 to Carlos Brown Jr. on himself because he was schizophrenic and he was hearing voices and he needed help and they couldn't help him. Why would you not put up a mural to a beautiful Ukrainian immigrant who lost her life in such a tragic way? I don't get it. But that is where we are. They're these owners of this gay nightclub in Providence. And they're like, yeah, we love the idea of this. She needs to be memorialized. It should not have happened to her. And so this artist comes along. I guess Elon Musk coughs in some dough. And he's like, yeah, I'll cover the costs, whatever that is. And then the mayor of Providence, this little pencil neck, needle nose geek, right, who's got a kayak in the garage, and is driving a Subaru that's clearly white, because that's what all the lesbians drive. He's all upset about this. Take down that mural. If it's George Floyd, okay, but it's not, it's her. Is it because she's white and she was killed by a black guy? Is that it? We don't talk about the school shootings that involve trannies because we protect the transgender folks who have some serious mental illness. We're not allowed to talk the truth here. Well, I want you to hear this news report because it tells us a little bit more about the fickle values of the LGBT crowd in Providence, because the owners of that nightclub took a knee and they bowed to the woke pressure and said, oh, it's just too controversial. Let's just remove that mural. It's just too much. How about you have a spine, grow a backbone, do anything? Here's this ridiculous story.
Mayor Brett Smiley supports removing that mural, but some say that runs too close to government censorship. NBC 10's Nicole Mader is live in Providence. Nicole.
Jean and Patrice, the mural is still hanging, as you can see behind me here, even as owners of the Dark Lady Club say that they want it removed. Critics are calling it censorship, and so is the artist behind the art. The removal of the mural on the side of this building is trending on social media. Right-wing influencers and Republican leaders like Ted Cruz are weighing in about Mayor Smiley's desire to have the mural memorializing slain Ukrainian immigrant Irina Zarutska removed from the outside of an LGBTQ club in Providence.
At the moment, my freedom of expression feels like it's being stifled. I wasn't allowed to finish the work. People are judging the work prematurely, in my opinion.
I asked the artist Ian Gaudreau, do you feel that you're being censored?
I do feel censored to some extent. Yeah, people make art for all sorts of reasons, and it is a form of speech.
Mayor Smiley said in a statement the mural is misguided and isolating.
A politician, a public servant should never wield that kind of power to intimidate the people that they serve.
Rhode Island Senate Minority Leader Jessica De La Cruz is raising concerns about the First Amendment.
Do you still believe that the removal is censorship?
Absolutely, because those individuals did not come to that conclusion on their own. They came to that conclusion because they were influenced by a government official.
Other murals in Providence were created to make a statement, like the Still Here mural of a Narragansett woman reminding viewers about the historical erasure of Indigenous people and their identity. Mayor Smiley spearheaded the commission of this mural behind me here, which celebrates Chinese and Southeast Asian communities as well as LGBTQ expression. The mural outside the Dark Lady is partially funded by Elon Musk. Some wonder if the mayor would be opposed if Musk's name wasn't attached.
The artwork is not being separated from the people who have donated, or I should say the one person who has donated that's problematic for people.
De La Cruz wants the mural to stay up.
If there is a business in Rhode Island that would like to host the mural in Providence or elsewhere, I'd love to connect with them and make this project happen.
The artist Ian also shared with me that he is looking for a new home for his mural and that he hopes that he is given the opportunity to finish the piece. He's looking for a business either in Providence or even in the Boston area that has a large wall where he can move the mural to. As for the actual removal, all of the timing on that is to be determined.
So What would it take? What would it take for a white Ukrainian woman murdered by an insane black man to be treated fairly by the left? If it's not the story of a white cop whose knee's on the neck of a black guy, say their name. If it's not the story, running interference, like what does it take for your life to be of value to this Democratic Party? Because if you're a college student in Chicago and you run away from a criminal illegal alien and he shoots you in the back and you die, well, if you're Laken Riley, you can't even get noticed by the president of the United States if it's Joe Biden, who called her Lincoln Riley. It's like only certain people in this country have any kind of value. Those who can be used as box-checking victims of some greater evil that the left wants you to contribute money to. We got to fix it. We need to come up with a commission. We got to raise money, raise taxes. Now we got to try to fix the problem. And here's how we're going to do that. It's all a grift. It's all a grift. Meantime, people are dying. Meantime, Mayor Smiley, who said that the mural of Irina Zarutska was misguided and isolating. I'm going to tell you what's isolating, dude. Having your neck slashed on a train. And do you really believe that she is of less value because her murderer was black and that doesn't fit your narrative? And the LGBTQ crowd, who's so big into victims and inclusion, could not be the most feckless, weakling group of people. Say their name is say their name regardless of circumstance. But to our friends on the left, if you are a Republican or if you are the victim of someone who is a chosen, privileged class on the left, well, sucks to be you. When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, let's regroup and get ready for Eric Swalwell. Poor guy. Even with Pam Bondi's alleged help, he's not doing that well right now. Oh boy, what he's accused of doing now on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. Isn't it so funny, the gay people who are like so big into being accepted and we're so excluded, we're ostracized and we want equal everything, are the most discriminatory, exclusionary people ever? Why is that? All of them? No, of course not. My best friends are gay and they're not like that. But it's just so curious to me. So curious to me. It's like saying that the president who's taking us back to the moon, yeah, we don't like that. Away with him. Got it. Let's see. Blood Flow 7. Do you need more Alpha Gold Mail?
No, I'm taking the...
I know, but that's going to run out.
Well, do you have some?
Mm-hmm.
Why is that going to run out?
This?
Yeah. Can we get more of that?
I don't know. Are you with them doing that?
No.
Longer, I can last longer. I don't tire out. I don't hit a wall in the afternoon where I just want to nap. I feel like I can do anything to the intensity I could have when I was 25. And nothing's changed except me taking bloodflow7.com/Wendy from our friends at Juvenon. And it's basic. You can take it two capsules a day. I take mine every day. First thing in the morning, and I love that. You can take it on an empty stomach and not feel terrible. What does it do? It's nitric oxide, which is a molecule that allows more blood flow to get into your body. It opens up your arteries and blood vessels. So you've got more pumping through your body, which is so huge. It's great for your clarity, for your gut. It's for everything that you do. If there is a if there's an exercise or something that you do in your normal life that's become more cumbersome and you're like, God, I'm really slowing down, please do yourself a favor and trust me, because I will not lie to you. Bloodflow7.com/Wendy. Get it, take it, keep doing that task, and then email me at wendybellradio@gmail.com and say thank you. Because all of a sudden you'll be like, I can do that. It works. Bloodflow7.com/Wendy. Everything on their page, including the Alpha Gold Male, which is the male product of Bloodflow 7, it deals with testosterone. And those men's bodies are different. What you guys need is different than what I do. Wendy 30 will get you 30% off everything in their store. It's a pretty great deal. I love them. I love them. Bloodflow7.com/Wendy.
So we're not getting more of that to drink?
I haven't talked to them, so I don't know. Wait a minute, what am I doing? Oh, okay. Bookmarks. Wow. Bookmarks. Okay. Now, bookmarks. There we go.
So we skipping Collins?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Eric. Oh, Eric.
The whole idea of how sex craved. I don't get it. Welcome back to the Wendy Bell radio program. My computer here or my TV next to me says Fox is breaking the news that there's new information on the Pam Bondi firing. So I'm going to involve Brock here and say, you've got to go check it out for me because I can't pay attention. But I can tell you about this story, which is just, look, I don't understand. I don't understand too much of the sexual deviant stuff. It just doesn't make sense to me. It just doesn't. I want to read you this about Eric Swalwell. Let me see where I have it. Where did I put that, Brock? Is that the bottom of 2? Is it in this position? Oh, here we go. This is from the Independent Sentinel. Now, I told you briefly yesterday about a video I had watched of Nick Sorter, who is a wonderful citizen journalist. He covered the Maui fires. He covered all sorts of things. He was in Minneapolis. He's been all over, being on the ground covering stories. And he apparently was at a situation where he's sitting next to Eric Swalwell, and where the congressman was talking, he's had too much to drink and blah, blah, blah. And Nick Sorter puts out on his X page how inappropriate the things that Eric Swalwell was saying in mixed company for a full hour and a half were. And how he was talking about how he thought Ivanka Trump was hotter than hell and how he wanted to do this. And he wanted to get some hot that. And his wife was boring and he wanted more blah, blah, blah. And I was just like, oh, like you need a shower. But you take sort of, I trust Nick Sorter, but what are you going to do? Well, this has just been a bad week for the dude who fancies himself California's next governor, I'll tell you. Reportedly, Eric Swalwell has been sleeping with interns and staffers. Ew, yeah, that's what I get. Eric Swalwell might have had other girlfriends besides the Chinese communist spy, Fang Fang. For those who don't know, Fang Fang was helping him get into Congress and was fundraising for him. They allegedly had an affair. She was reportedly a honeypot. You know what that is. A plant, usually from another government, somebody to lure you sexually into a lair. And as they're betting you doing this or that, planting secrets, stealing from you, whatever it is, or encouraging you to take a path of behavior you likely ought not to. Well, now we have numerous women coming forward to claim that Eric Swalwell was sleeping with interns and staffers. Of course, this is above and beyond the mortgage fraud where he says he lived in some room at a building in LA and that's his residency. And everyone's like, no, that's not true at all. Nobody knew who he was. Nobody's seen him. He's had the same room in this house for like 11 years. Right? This could put a real crimp in his campaign for governor, apparently, says this article. Swalwell plays the righteous person and then lies. He says absurd things. He's an all-around awful human being. And now Right Angle News Network is saying numerous women, including a 19-year-old teenager, have come forward to blow the whistle on California Representative and Governor candidate Eric Swalwell, claiming he has been sleeping with his interns and staffers and forcing them to sign NDAs to keep quiet. Now, Brock, you were particularly intrigued by the non-disclosure agreement part of this whole episode. Why would you have young people coming to work for you and force them to sign something that restricts them from speaking about what you are doing?
Yeah, you only have an NDA if someone was paid or has something on you and you give them what they want. So you would have an NDA so they couldn't disclose it. So this just made me think of the slush fund, the sexual slush fund that Congress has.
So the $17 million that we know that you and I have paid into this fund that a group of Republicans has tried repeatedly to get put out there. Nancy Mace among the front leaders of the pack. Why are people here in Congress and in the Senate allowed to be accused of sexual whatever and settle with their assailants, or rather settle with their abuse or accusers, and have the American people pay for it? What are we doing? And so now this all kind of comes back around. On the heels of Kristi Noem's weird cross-dressing husband, we've known of photos in Senate conference rooms where men have been having sex with each other. We have aliens mating with people plucked from war areas and migrant caravans. Apparently in some intergalactic breeding program, we've got 2 Chinese wackos in California with 21 kids, 17 under the age of 3. And Donald Trump is the problem. Okay, I just want to make sure we're all on the same page. The guy who just wants us to go to outer space and see the whole world and the sky's the limit and be who you want. Yeah, okay. Then there's that. Well, when we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, my friends, California's fraud. This is a staggering story. And we've got Mehmet Oz on the ground arresting people right now. Not him, but the FBI. So California's fraud may well eclipse $250 billion, making Minneapolis look silly. Next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. Like, what is going on? There's just a lot of deviance out there, and apparently I never got my kink on because I've
live
never
a boring
found
life. Apparently,
I'm like, I think that's all kind of gross, but okay, you do you.
basically, Fox is saying that a White House source, Trump's considered this for a while. Okay, which makes me think if that's true, then Susie Wiles was probably behind fighting for her.
What do you mean?
What do you mean? What do I mean?
What do you mean? What do I mean? That she was fighting for Pam Bondi to be Attorney General.
Yes. And she was defending her. I mean, let's be honest. If you drop the ball in a position like that, the way she did with the Epstein folders and binders and everything, I would fire you. I'd be like, that is a complete... You basically just lied to the American people. We said we were going to be the most transparent administration.
Also, like Kristi Noem's $200 million commercial that she said Trump signed off.
I would fire her for that too.
And then, very logically, there's Tulsi Gabbard. And she has not been supportive of this effort in Iran.
Mm-mm.
Right? Now, you need your director of national intelligence, I think, to pretty much be
on the same page.
100%. And so here's President Trump, and he's like, I know that you're a Democrat, but you're a principled woman. You're a veteran. I think we need more people like you in service. So I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised. And then the Me Tooers should come out of the woodwork. The vagina hat, women's liber people, right? But they'll be quiet because the only people they champion anymore is boys who want to be girls, right? So GLP-1 Gold is a very exciting way to lose weight from our friends at Juvenon. When they put things together, I pay attention because they have pretty strict quality standards. They can't come out and say this is for significant weight loss if people didn't lose significant weight taking it. You can't do that. It's not how it works. And what they do, though, is unique. And it's to naturally trigger more of this hormone production inside of you rather than injecting fake parts in you. This is activating the production of more GLP-1 hormone, which controls basically the communication between your brain and your belly. And so you stop eating when you're full. People who have a low GLP-1 hormone, they don't have that signaling. And so it's easy to fall for cravings and to be bothered by food noise all day long. It's hard to stop eating. This is going to help you. This is not just for 10 or 15 pounds. This is for people who have significant weight to lose, but who don't want to spend $1 million and are worried about the shots. Try this, 30% off Juvenon. Bloodflow7.com/Wendy. All of their stuff, 30% off when you use that landing zone, or you just put in Wendy 30. This is a big deal. And you can take this for $1 a day. That's a lot cheaper than what you get the shots for. And a lot safer. GLP-1 Gold. You can tell I don't take it. Like, I paid attention. They're like, don't take it if you don't have a lot of weight to lose. And I'm like, I could lose a little fluff.
Hakeem Jeffries has put out a tweet.
Oh, my.
Pam Bondi is a partisan, petulant political hack, and now she's gone. Keep the pressure on every single one of these extremists. But he's such a turd. This story will blow your mind. Coming up.
I have to read like the first 5 minutes of the article that he wrote. Chris Rufo, we've covered, and he's been on the show before. And that was back in the days, our first.
That was when he first came on the scene. Well, I don't know if it was a while ago, before he became a household name.
2.52. You guys have done a great job. Can we get up to 2.7 and end the show at 2.7? Please. Let's see what we got. 383 comments. Maybe my thing isn't updating. My computer is just something's going on. I look very forward to getting some new gear in here, guys. I'm hoping, do they have all of the stuff fiber optically running in here?
I don't know if they do yet, but that computer's just not strong enough.
I'm even talking about mine.
Oh.
Is what I'm
Well, you're
saying.
not wired in.
Right.
So that makes a difference too, but we'll talk to Jason after the show real quick. I talked to the Comcast guys yesterday and asked him. He's like, very soon. So they're running everything. You know, Wendy Bell wants it.
Remember, it wasn't that long ago that President Trump said, you know what, if you got rid of all of the fraud and the waste and abuse in this country, we would have no debt. The budget would be balanced. We wouldn't be chewing our fingernails down to the quick. It would not be a problem, but the fraud is rampant. And then who are the people who came against Doge? Of course, it was the left. Every single thing this president tries to show you, the left tries to shut down and hide. Every corridor, every locked door the president wants to open and expose. They run in advance and try to burn bag everything. Quick, shred it. Every change this president sees that is of vital importance for our standard of living and quality of life, the left wants to shut down. They don't want the grift to stop, right? And it's really bad in California. We thought Minneapolis was bad. We thought Minnesota in general was bad. It's nothing. It's nothing. If it's 20, 40, 60, $100 billion in Minneapolis, in Minnesota, it's 3 times that in California. So Chris Rufo is a guy who does amazing reporting for the City Journal. And he wrote an article about how California has lost billions and billions of dollars to Romanian fraud rings, neo-Nazi prison gangs, a Memphis rapper, and even organized crime syndicates from around the world, all to benefit the state's democratic power structure. Why is it we never benefit from this stuff? I'm going to read you a couple paragraphs before you hear the sound. Christopher F. Rufo, ChristopherRufo.com is how you would find this. The article entitled Gavin Newsom's Empire of Fraud. Remember, Eric Swalwell fancies himself the next governor of California. Gavin Newsom fancies himself the next president of the United States. In what world do either of these men have a position anywhere in the future of this country? California has lost at least $180 billion to fraud, $180 billion, according to officials and reports. California is a cash machine. The state collects some of the country's highest income business and fuel taxes and now spends more than $300 billion a year. And yet everywhere you look, California seems to be falling apart. The roads are crumbling. Mismanaged wildfires have turned neighborhoods into ash. Drug addiction and homelessness have metastasized, turning parts of Los Angeles and San Francisco into no-go zones. And the cost of living crisis is pricing middle-class taxpayers out of basic necessities, like groceries and gas, even as the state spends billions and billions on welfare programs that never seem to lift anyone out of poverty. So Californians are beginning to ask, like, where's all the money going? On paper, it funds hospitals, universities, schools, prisons, infrastructure, and other public services. But beneath that surface, something else is happening that California Governor Gavin Newsom does not want you to see. Massive, systematic, brazen fraud. Chris Rufo says we conducted interviews with public officials, fraud experts, and political figures. We reviewed hundreds of pages of government reports, state audits, criminal indictments, and other public records on California fraud, from unemployment insurance and Medicaid to failed homeless initiatives and welfare programs. Seemingly every state program has been compromised by criminals. I'm going to say that again. Seemingly every state program has been compromised by criminals. The best estimates suggest that on the governor's watch, Newsom's watch, fraudsters, scammers, and organized crime rings have stolen at least $180 billion from taxpayers. Welcome to Gavin Newsom's empire of fraud. So here's Chris Rufo, and he's sitting down. This is Newsmax, if I'm not mistaken. Is it? No, who is it, Brock? I forget who this is on.
I believe it's Fox.
Is it Fox? It's Fox. I beg your pardon. It's the Fox Business people, yes. And Christopher Rufo sits down. He's like, look, my team's gone over this. We revealed that every criminal organization on earth, basically, has been looting the state of California, and Gavin Newsom has been letting it happen.
We had 4 reporters working on this story for a number of months, and what we discovered was really shocking. Not only are these top-line numbers somewhere between $180 billion and $280 billion in fraud under Gavin Newsom, in California. But when you dig into it and you read all of the court documents, the indictments, the other investigations, we found out that virtually every criminal group on planet Earth has been looting the state of California. Romanian international fraud rings. You had rap groups in Memphis, Tennessee. You had neo-Nazi prison gangs. You had people actually in California death row applying for fraudulent unemployment benefits. And what we found is that essentially every criminal group saw that Gavin Newsom was opening the floodgates of state spending. They could take whatever they wanted. And he's losing now an estimated up to $50 billion a year to fraud with no end in sight.
Taxes keep going up. Services keep going down. Now, 14 months after Newsom began his first term as governor, the COVID-19 pandemic swept through the world. Roughly 2.7 million Californians eventually lost their jobs. The state's economy went into free fall as its leaders imposed some of the country's most restrictive public health measures. In response to the crisis, Newsom sought to dump pallets of cash across the state as quickly as possible. One way to inject money was through California's massive unemployment insurance program. Unemployment insurance is administered by the state's Employment Development Department, which can process billions of dollars in payments monthly. Before the state turned on the cash machine, experts had warned that the system was ripe for fraud. And the purposeful dismantling of all the fraud protection in the state was done purposefully by the Democrats in the General Assembly there, taking away all the guardrails, all of the protections, all of the measures that would have illuminated how rampant the fraud was. Makes you go,
In fact, this dates back more than 10 years, where Democrats have systematically dismantled all of the fraud protections that had been in place and then rejected any attempts to even do a basic audit of these programs. And so California Republicans, who are in a very small minority in the legislature, have been calling for audits, for legislative action, for further accountability. Democrats are going the other way, though. They're saying, actually, we want to reduce penalties for fraud. We talked to one legislator who says if Democrats get their way in this next session, they'll have essentially legalized welfare fraud in the state of California. Look, this puts money not only into fraudsters' pockets, it puts money into the union pockets. It puts money into all of these interest groups that California Democrats rely on. Fraud is perversely good for Democrats, even if it's bad for taxpayers.
It goes through all of these different people. There was a rapper who swindled $700,000 and in these unemployment insurance scams and then rapped about it. And there was a member of the SFV Peckerwoods, which is a California-based neo-Nazi gang. Sound fabulous. They allegedly ran an unemployment scam during the pandemic, as did a one-time leader of the Aryan Brotherhood, who was eventually convicted. California's prison population apparently got in on the action, too. This unemployment insurance racket allegedly paid out hundreds of millions of dollars in fraudulent claims in prisoners' names, including those of at least 133 on death row. This is Gavin Newsom's California. This is the ultimate epicenter of fraudulent gravy train. Audio soundbite number 3. And it's not just the Californians who pay for it. You do too, no matter where you live.
There's a program called IHSS, In-Home Supported Services, and California right now pays about 800,000 people to provide in-home care services, mostly to family members. They do laundry, they cook, they clean, they watch television, and some estimate that between 20 and 40% of this program, which costs more than $30 billion a year, mostly federal cash, is fraudulent because it operates on the honor system, in effect. Yeah. There's very little oversight, very little accountability, and it's now the #1 job in the state of California. This is, in other words, almost like a welfare program, paying people to take care of their own family members with little or no oversight. It's a disaster.
And it's allowed. Whether it's abject incompetence or it's absolute willful blindness, it's costing us all. He says it could be between 180 and $280 billion. That there is not a program, social service, niche project, bleeding heart issue that hasn't been completely co-opted and controlled by some fraudulent operation. See, here's what I want. I know in this particular program that Chris Rufo is speaking of, this IHSS, Home Supported Services, there are 800,000 people in California who the state pays with your taxpayer dollars to provide in-home services for their own family members. And it's estimated conservatively that 40% of the program, which costs $30 billion a year, by the way, is fraudulent. That's just Gavin Newsom. Tim Walz knew about this too. Now I think we should also do what? J.B. Pritzker? Should we go to Illinois and see what they're doing over there with their programs? How about Mills, Janet Mills in Maine, Kathy Hochul in New York? How about Gretchen Whitmer? Where you been, Gretch? Haven't seen you around. Katie Hobbs trying to fly low on the radar in Arizona as the wheels in her own issues come closing in on her. How about Jared Polis and Maura Healey, who came out yesterday with a wonderful plan to put a giant windmill in a pretty prominent waterway in Massachusetts to the tune of $2.3 billion for the taxpayers. A huge eyesore windmill drilled into the bottom of a river. Because I'm sure there's some no-bid contracts there we can also sponge off of. Everything these people do has to be stopped, period, because it's all fraud. When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, let's go back to aliens, guys. Right, Tim Burchett sitting down yesterday with Rob Finnerty on Newsmax, and Rob's like, seriously, aliens? Oh my. Wait for it. Next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. Did I already talk about Ireland? I think I did. Didn't I start with them? Oh. I did. Looks beaten. She looks beaten. Pam Bondi's only 4 years older than I am.
Alex Jones, take it for what it's worth, is reporting FBI Director Kash Patel to be fired by Trump today. I can't see that happening. You can't just... Too many people will need to be confirmed.
I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised by that.
You wouldn't be?
No.
You don't think that's too many firings?
No. You have people who are unwavering. Like, if you told me Janine Pirro was leaking stuff, I'd be gobsmacked. I would be absolutely gobsmacked. Pam Bondi, meh. I don't get that vibe. I wouldn't be surprised. She was ineffective. I mean, this is the under budget and ahead of schedule president. So, well, under budget for some things, never for the military, of course, but we're doing a speed test to figure out why I don't look as fabulous as I should all the time. Wonkyville. Very much. I don't know if I was 59, if I'd lived my life, I was an attorney general in a state, I was one in the, I don't know. Would you keep working? I don't. You have to have something else to do, and it's not sleep with your interns. He's so gross. Can you imagine Eric Swalwell coming up? How you doing? I'd be like,
No.
You're gross, dude.
Ooh.
Eric Swalwell.
Oh. You're like, what did I do?
Here's Chad or Steve Hilton. What are you talking about, Steve? Fact of the matter is you have a president who wants progress, right? That's what's pissed him off about Iran. Jerking him around. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. He just bombed the crap out of one of their big bridges. And he's like, more to come. We're either going to do this or we're not. And if you don't want to play, then we're going to blow up everything you have. So that was the bombing campaign today. It started. Trying to figure out what he's saying. I don't know. You cannot tell me that Eric Swalwell is leading the California gubernatorial polling right now. Apparently he is. Then you have to wonder is how much of California has been co-opted and how much of it is just Kool-Aid drinking liberals. I don't know.
I think you can only drink so much Kool-Aid while getting bent over for taxes. Like at some point you have to be like, wait,
this isn't working out.
Something's not right.
I'm working just about it, the more I think Lee Zeldin would be a phenomenal choice to be the next attorney general. Lee Zeldin has managed to do exactly what businessman Trump does. Fix problems quickly, find the best people to do the job, try to come in under budget and try to come in ahead of schedule. This long meandering process of litigation, of investigation, of all of whatever the heck Pam Bondi was doing, it had to drive him absolutely crazy because every day, the people who did what they did to him with Crossfire Hurricane, Russia, and all of that stuff, impeachment, indictment, criminal charges, shots at his face, etc., they all walk free. And yet they spent their entire time trying to ruin Trump's life and put him in prison forever. I get it. Lee Zeldin is one of those guys that's lickety-split, get it done. All right, I want you to hear this. Tim Burchett yesterday with Rob Finnerty. Rob's like, hey, he clearly was watching our show. I'm going to say it. And he was, and he's like, Congressman, Wendy Bell's the best. And I heard this on our show. Tell me about these, you really believe in UFOs and alien life and people? What's going on? Okay, this is Tim Burchett, part of this basically UFO congressional team that's gotten briefed on these things. I want you to hear the exchange. Very interesting.
Former colleague of yours, Matt Gaetz, making some pretty shocking statements yesterday about aliens. Take a look.
I had someone come and brief me who was in a military uniform, worked for the United States Army, that was briefing me on the locations of hybrid breeding programs where captured aliens were breeding with humans to create some hybrid race that could engage in intergalactic communication. Aliens that were living were in forced breeding programs with humans that had been abducted from war zones and from even the caravans of migrants.
All right. I mean, you know, I don't have the tinfoil hat on just yet, Congressman, but I'm wondering, you know, kind of how you react to that because you are connected. You're on the UFO subcommittee. I mean, I'm just wondering what you make of that. Have you heard anything like that?
Well, I'm still a member of Congress, so I can't really comment too much on what Matt said. But I will say this.
Wait, seriously? Are you being serious or is that tongue in cheek?
I'm being 100% serious. Okay. I've been 100% serious. I've been briefed by just about every alphabet agency there is. And I'll just tell you this, if they would release the things that I've seen, you would stay up, you'd be up at night worrying about or thinking about this stuff. We just need to disclose it all. I'm sick of it. Well, I was briefed. I'll just tell you this. I was briefed last week on an issue, or excuse me, 2 weeks ago, and it would have set the earth on. This country would have come unglued, I think, if they would have heard all that I heard. They would demand answers, and we need to. But it's never going to get. Unfortunately, it just keeps getting covered up, and the people that know are dying or disappearing, as the case may be.
Wow.
And for the record, I'm not suicidal, and I don't take risks. So,
I'm glad you said that. I'm speechless, Congressman. We will have you back.
You should be. And I told the president, release it all. And the problem is the people that are around the president don't know and the president doesn't know the questions to ask. A few of us are going to have to get with the president and tell him what he needs to ask and where he needs to look. I mean, we're in meetings and they give addresses and tell locations of items, I'll just say. And the public has a right to know, dadgummit. It's your tax dollars.
Absolutely.
Let's get it out there.
You got my attention, Congressman. I appreciate you being as forthcoming as you have been tonight. And we look forward to having you back. Look, I know Donald Trump wants to disclose something. He hasn't done it yet, but I think he wants to be the president to do that. Tim Burchett, thank you.
He does.
Yeah.
He does.
He does. I do not believe Rob Finnerty was expecting what he was getting. No way. So
he sat there stunned.
One of the greatest things to do when you're talking to somebody is to not speak after they stop speaking, especially if you're interviewing them. It's always what comes after the uncomfortable pause that's the most insane. And in that uncomfortable pause, Tim Burchett was like, if you all knew what I've been briefed on, it would set the world on fire. It would set the world. And there's Rob Finnerty, his jaw on the ground. So I do believe there's an awful lot to discuss tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, it's Friday. Don't go anywhere. Keep it here. 21 hours. Love you guys. Have a great day. Peace.